Who knows? Anyway,
Excellent.
I was going to filter. All right. Well, with everyone here, let's hop into what the hell happened last time on whatever the hell this is. On Journey of the Shrouded Isles. Last time to hit all of the key notes. We start off with Mustang beginning to go for the roles of crafting. It was presented to you that if you wanted a gun, and I spoke with Ash before this, because you are essentially roughly in world about 800 years before they become commonplace. Uh, if you wanted to make it, it could be done. It's going to take a lot of your very precious time here. Cannons, they know how to make. Smaller cannons, they know how to make. Putting it into a pistol and bullets was the harder part. Um, so essentially, if you were to give your time for roughly, it would have been a month or so, you could have attempted a role. Or you could have watched the others do it and attempted to find something that was maybe more of this time, in which you watched along, you rolled incredibly well. So when it comes to making arcane focuses, you still have the understanding for what needs to be done for a variety of different things. The forging aspect, whittling, um, all different sorts. You have the basics on. However, trying to make firearm your focus a little ambitious, and while you wanted it, it looks like you were willing to settle for something that was more of the now, and try and use your item abilities on um, current in-use weapons, such as crossbows, longbows, that sort of thing. And you tried. We saw Mustang go for the process of using the various different weapons to no real avail. It was very clear that there was something missing when you were trying to activate your item ability, as technically you already had an arcane focus when it came to using a musical instrument, of which, as a bard, you can use as one. Uh, but unlike, for a reason, unlike both Mustang, excuse me, God, I don't know how I mess it up. Like Mammoth and Kipley, it seems like their new focuses granted them a new source for their item ability. However, the guitar did not seem to fit the same either requirements, level of rarity, weaponry, whatever it might been. So throughout the day, trying different weapons, trying even Rowan's boots on as their magical weapons of a rare variety, nothing seemed to work. And frustration built to the point of which, as you kept trying things throughout the night and they left the forge open, uh, you ended up feeling more and more frustrated to the point uh, of exploding. Um, you Not only was it brought on by frustration, but it was a reminder that Wave's warnings do have some merit behind them. There's genuine uh, hatred when he talks about the spark, and you can tell that he may be hiding a lot more details than what he actually tells you. Uh, but at least one thing was confirmed, and that is you are losing your form slowly but surely. And this was just another explosion. You had a chain of many, many others in the past. However, as you went to erupt, and what would have been about let me remember. I think it was 4 times the dice roll of fireball was lowered. Was lowered, and the radius lowered as well. Um, by a flash of metal, and not even hearing it, but just kind of lost in that almost near rage moment, you caught a glimpse of what looked like to be a large metal rod reaching out in your direction and taking some of the brunt of the explosion, of which later inspection of the room and confirmation with them indirectly that it was Yan. It was, in fact, Lancelot, um, who broke through their chains and showed some semblance of independence. It has been shown before with the same bond that Duradon and Esclados had, where he too almost broke out of his chains. It both helps you in the fact that you didn't destroy anything necessarily, but concerned you a little bit knowing that these strange mix between monsters and machines that you've made deals with seem to be a little bit more alive than you thought prior. But after that, you had a brief conversation with Kipley, who had literally just watched the entire thing, um, tagging along as you were both two undead creatures that don't need to sleep. Um, and you went off to your room to try and focus on centering yourself and having a conversation between the Spark and Jan. It became very evident that you weren't really getting anywhere with either. However, come morning, you were all, it should become evening, you were all given a notice, whether by the barkeeps or by notes being slid under your doors, that each of you were invited to a proper dinner, a banquet in your honor. Of which, after the 4 long days of hard labor, it didn't really come to you that any of this would be something worthy of celebration, and everyone was concerned that it would be a red banquet type situation. Looking at you, Jared. It was just a genuine banquet, celebrating your progression, and also Aldrin's progression, as he finally had some details for what you needed to look out for the subject who was trustworthy enough to be pulled into this loop. And that was a man by the name of Toran Salir, a tiefling mage, a powerful sorcerer that was living in Relen. And after being reached out to by some of Uldren's contacts, seemed to be interested in crafting such an artifact for a measly 10,000 gold, of which, realizing that some of you came in literal chains, assumed that none of you had, and Uldren said that he would be willing to provide. He didn't give it to you yet, but he said that he'd be willing to provide it when you began your journey out to Relen. And also gave the good news that after reaching out once more to Wave's contact, that the sculptor, the man of which who they had spoken of before, being a past Spark, who had gone through the process of what Wave had spoken about, would be arriving the next day. And with all of that being said, essentially congratulated all of you for making arcane focuses and just proving yourselves as individuals for mastering the walkers, these massive monstrosities and various different literal machine prisons, mechanical prisons, excuse me. For being such low levels, it is a feat in itself. So he allowed for a night of essentially festivities that you guys haven't had in a little while. Um, and as the night broke up and everyone was preparing for sleep, um, we saw a brief commune between Duradon and Mammoth, in which the barbarian asked some of the wildest questions I have ever seen about astronomy, how the sun works, is the sun made of fire, how far away is it, how many stars are in the sky, what are stars, are they just light, what
So
happens when they
great.
go away. It genuinely made me watch as the time ticked by and question so many things about life, but also reminded me how much I love this game for the fact that you can do that. Everyone has to have their moments. We had the Kipling moment that, it took us 2 days to get out of a cave, and now we have the barbarian moment of seeing how many days it takes to understand how the sun works. And on that note, a long rest is had, and the sun rises, everybody. As the morning greets all of you, a few things are noticeable. First off, congratulations to all the players. Your first week is officially over. As far as how many you have left, 51 remain until the deadline. Now, what the most legendary crash outs? Let me see it. Holy shit, that is insane, Ash. The picture
Yeah,
better
let's say
prepare
me
for
crashing out.
what? Am I forgetting what moment this was? Was
Probably.
was this a prior event for something?
It's his backstory.
Uh right. I'm thinking for in-game shit, and I was like, I don't think people have seen that before, and that's exactly right. Um, it does feel like a JoJo's moment. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Cool,
Mustang,
cool, cool.
did you destroy the world?
Hey, Pangea's a real bitch. Don't ask questions about it.
There's no know about Pangea.
Or maybe you can ask the child about it for 2 hours. Anyway, um, as the morning greets all of you, two uh two of you immediately have things that you notice is different. But all of you do share some similarities. Um, for one, Mustang, as you awake in the morning, it is not the fact that you slept, as that is not really something you do anymore unless you are trying to forcefully dream into whatever weird understanding of what the Sparks dreamscape is where you first originally met him, or trying to recall any of your past memories. But as the sun rises and as you go from just drearily sitting and staring out into a blank and dark consciousness, for one, the same gifts that Jan was talking about previously kind of begin to cycle through your head. You know that as much as the group planned to leave almost immediately for the Iron Thicket, that there is something that needs to be done first. And you know that if you try and leave before that, there will be dire consequences. And you're just kind of sitting with this feeling of something sinking in your chest. That as the dawn's light begins to crest for your window, sending that singular beam from the kind of larger stained glass panel that overlines the bar that you're essentially sleeping at, as it kind of christens over you, you can feel the heat and the warmth entering through the smoky form of your body, and you have this double, almost like intertwined moment of both concern, anxiety, and for whatever reason, as you look up and you can see a mirror at the bar that kind of reflects it's one of those longer mirrors that reflect almost the entire room in it. And you can see as you look up, for whatever reason, despite all of those prior listed feelings, despite knowing your fate ahead of you, you see there is a red, almost flame-like smile carved into your face.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
And one by one, as you all awake in your various different rooms, you notice, for whatever reason, you're in somewhat of a good mood today. Strangely so, despite the circumstances for what a lot of you have just recently faced. As you all brush by, whether it be mirrors, reflective surfaces, or simply seeing each other for the first time as you go to a morning breakfast, there is a glimpse that fades just as quickly as you see it of a massive grin, one almost breaking your face in two. As soon as it is there, it is gone. There is that strange feeling that still lingers afterwards.
You said we all saw it briefly.
Briefly so, as you either passed by a reflective object or looked in the mirror, you felt that feeling of not almost laughter, but just genuinely near like indescribable joy for a brief second, and then saw the smile, of which vanished.
Whew.
For seemingly some of you, it's not too uncommon. As you wake up Duradon and you can see Zyrus lying beside you, there's a genuine smile of comfort. But you see as she wakes up and begins the day with you, she does kind of look at you a little odd. Kind of like her brow
Oh.
furrows for a second. And then immediately after a split second of looking at you, returns a smile. She goes, "Did you dream of something funny?"
No.
Oh.
No.
Hmm.
Why?
I guess you can still be subconsciously stupid. It just gives you a little
Yeah.
flick on the nose to get you out of bed.
He'll smirk and laugh a bit before rolling out of bed.
As you laugh, you can feel the edges of your face just hurt a little bit, almost like they're sore.
He'll feel the muscles and kind of massage them and kind of. This is strange. This is awkward. He then for of the things that could be hurting in the morning, his like facial muscles being one is strange,
Yes.
but not strange enough.
You massage it, it goes away. But as all of you convene for breakfast, see the dining hall is already bustling. You see there is fresh, new, what appears to be a dinner cloth that has placed over the table, as differing from being a different color from last night's festivities. You see everything is in a bright red now in the room. All of the banners have changed to a kind of not crimson, but more like a vermilion red that has been strewn about across the room. You can see the chairs, the cushions, and seating have been changed to a red trim with red and gold lining across the actual sides of them. And you can see there just seems to be a theme of just throughout the room of various different, uh, just red, including a number of vases that have been just noticeably filled with a variety of different red color flowers. And as you all arrive and walk in, you can see that Wave is the only one that appears to be in the dining room this morning. And you see he is in the middle of kind of fixing a bouquet of flowers as you all arrive and enter, and kind of smiles, not like gently, but just for like a brief second before immediately vanishing, and goes, good morning, everyone. Briefly, Ash, briefly. Assholes can smile occasionally. You see, he goes, I'm just finishing up the room. It's gonna look a little strange today, but as Ultron mentioned, we have a very special guest, of which you already know who. You already know why he is here, but please do treat him with the utmost respect. And this is going to be a little bit of a long process throughout the majority of the day.
Who's
So,
it?
I'm sorry?
Who is it?
Oh, right. Did I not tell you his name?
I'm not real good with names. Maybe.
Either way. The man of which, who is going to be working with Mustang and I today, goes by the name of Bernard. Bernard Bentworth. He is.
Yeah, sculptor would be named. Ah, nothing. Keep going, Wave.
Why would you say that?
Say what?
Sculptor would be called Bernard.
That's a very sculptorly name.
Okay. Anyway. he just immediately just kind of not rolls his eyes, but just looks at someone else in the group. Be on your best behavior. Try to give him a little bit of space. He is an eccentric fellow, but he is also very wary of the world as not what he used to be. So just a little skitsy every now and then. He's also my good friend, so if any of you personally make this awkward for him by asking him questions that are not of the usual variety, and just kind of glances towards... It looks like he starts glancing towards Mustang, but he does kind of give each of you eye contact, realizing after the fact that all of you have asked him weird questions in the past week alone. Never mind prior to that.
Shit.
Just goes, trying to make this as easy as possible. And Mustang, I hope you have prepared some for the questions he is going to be asking you that I mentioned when we first had this conversation.
Yeah, I have thought about it, but I wouldn't consider myself an expert in the subject. Am I allowed to have some counsel? And he kind of jerks a thumb towards Duradon.
Why would he be? I'm confused.
Well, he's a dude, isn't he? He's our leading expert on just being a regular guy. You know, not that you're regular, Duradon, but you're not a ghost. And you're a man.
Oh. So, like, you need help. What is this like a? Is this like? I feel like what it takes to be a man is very, like, subjective. Are you talking about like anatomically?
Yeah, just anatomically, you know, your perspective would be appreciated. I feel like you've been around the block a few times, and you know the people are always seem to fall over themselves to try and hop in the sack with you. So
Oh my
your
god.
counsel would be appreciated.
Mustang, I'm going to ask a question that has to be asked before the person gets here. Have you never had a pal uh Johnson Part 2 a
You
I'm
just spit it
gonna.
out.
You see Wiggles. I'm going to leave you guys this conversation. He'll be here shortly. Please get your ridiculousness out now. And just briskly walks over to the door that Ultron and you see Mori normally enter, and just exits, closes his door behind him.
I think he was getting nervous imagining me naked.
sorry.
You make me an insight check.
We're gonna fuck this
He's
up so
joking.
badly,
He's joking.
guys.
Do we all, or is that just a Mustang?
No, you can all make an insight check.
Mustang is being completely dishonest and joking. I'll make
21.
one anyway, though. A 14.
Not at advantage. So,
10.
oh, it doesn't matter.
They're
Anyway.
both 10s. Yeah. 14. I'll allow you again. You're unsure. Wave bears himself with an air of just kind of illusion for masking his true feelings. Kipley, as someone whose insight often eludes them, as you are normally better at lying than reading other people, you get the sense that Wave does genuinely seem a little jumpy. Not much uncomfortable as to your current conversation because he's heard worse, and you know that. But for whatever, it looks like he's trying to steel himself, and the thought, while it didn't embarrass him, was kind of breaking his. It looks like he was kind of trying to lock in, and that kind of pulled him out there for a second.
Okay, she'll let the conversation go on here and just kind of follow him out.
Man.
But yeah,
So, like, you've never had like a not mammoth, Mustang. This. So, like, how do you have fun?
Usually by doing something stupid. Why?
No, like the.
listen. you see Cyrus just kind of like put a hand on Durdan's shoulder. I think the question that dearest Durdan is trying to say is, do you in fact have a magic wand? And if so, how?
I mean, I had a magic gun for a while.
A magic wand of the smoky variety that you would be using for
Oh.
fun time.
Yeah.
Now, okay, this is this has a complicated answer that I'm going to try and make very simple.
Keep this in mind. There is a child in the room. So someone earmuff Mammoth. Actually, I'll do it. And she just walks over and earmuffs Mammoth, both her hands over his ears. You start hearing faint elven melodies in your head, Mammoth. Just
What the hell?
it's just random voice just pops in. Like, It is not the time for you to learn this. Just some random shit.
Okay. Yes and no, I could, but who wants to be filled with smoke? That's no fun for anyone. But luckily, I am very handy with tools. If that makes sense.
Oh,
Oh, so
Oh.
you've never.
instruments.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Interesting. So you can't really achieve. Oh, that's sad. I mean, what's something to look forward to at least is that you can past today achieve pleasure? Question mark.
That is so off my radar right now. I just wanted to make sure I don't put something where it doesn't belong.
Listen. I'm just saying, if they ask you for what size you would like, remember, don't undershoot, don't overshoot. You don't want a tripod, but you also don't want like you know, a whittled wand.
I mean, I can. I really only have the one. Nah, I only have a couple like Rolodex of members to kind of pick from, but I feel like this might be the time in which you'd want a woman's touch for uh determining the bits that you'd be best equipped for.
Dicks in rotation. Yeah, I know. Wait, that is such. You do see. Cyrus gives you the weirdest look on her face of like
Oh, God.
genuine, not concern, but like the most genuine confusion you have ever seen her give you. I'm sorry,
What?
you got what in rotation? You want to expand on that?
Listen, I am a savage hunter, and I did not limit my hunts to a specific variety of people.
I'm not judging that aspect. I'm judging the way that you said it. It sounds like you had multiple members ready to go in rotation, and I was about to say not something I thought that Calistar had in the little box of tricks there.
Oh no, I'm trying to be like mammoth friendly. But
You see she is actively still holding her hands over his head. He is listening to Elven I'm just precipitating sounds in his head right now. He'll be fine. He
oh,
can't
okay,
hear us.
gotcha. Oh yeah. Like I've Mustang had a lot of different partners, and I have like a remembrance of like my own and theirs. Uh, but I wouldn't know like who's your audience? Who are you batting, please?
Well, I guess certain tin can.
The bar is pretty high for that one. I have a feeling that in terms of the tin can, anything from here is going to be a downgrade. So I'm more swinging wide rather than
Oh.
something specific. I already had that sorted out before. We had a good thing going.
Are you accept best awkward conversation for the six? Yeah. Is this something that you are like mentally prepared for though?
I
It's
don't
like
think
this.
I have a choice. I feel like if I keep going the way I'm going, I'm just gonna fall apart. I need to
Right.
be sturdy, stable, steady, especially for this little guy over here. And he kind of nods his head towards Mammoth. Can't do that if I'm blowing up.
I understand that sentiment, and I understand that Mischief isn't exactly going to be capable of containing something when she really probably only make it worse with, chaos for chaos sake. But I'm not saying, like secondhand understanding in any way, but you're going to be losing an aspect of yourself, and you deserve time to grieve it. I mean, he's getting here today. Maybe you could push it back a day or something. Well, time's limited for you guys and for myself, I guess.
I don't think that's necessary. I think it's time to rip the band-aid off on this one. There's no way over it, no way around it, no way under it. Just gotta go through it. And yeah, it does. It's scary. I won't lie. But it's scarier to think that I might hurt the people that I care about if I stay this way.
Oh.
So have you thought about what your face is gonna look like?
Cyrus un-earmuffs Mammoth.
Something rugged. Something. Yeah, I think if I were a man, I'd probably have a lot of scars. Maybe not as many as you, Dirt on, but enough. Maybe.
Hey, scars play well. It's a very almost like tragically attractive feature. You'd be adored for it.
I think I'd be a little wrinkly too. I feel like I've earned it.
Are we talking about recent father mid-30s, or are we talking about I'm Papa mid-40s, early 50s?
I wish I had a better grasp of human lifespans, because how are you supposed to look when you're a few hundred years old?
I look
Dead.
over his iris.
She strips us dead. Yeah,
Oh.
I don't know many humans that have lived that long. I take it back, except for well, except for Ada, except she wasn't really like human. She was always something else weird that I never really fully understood. So yeah, I think the most people that I know that are humans that are over a certain age are just magic, so they just keep their form. You do turn to like a grandpa type character there, that would be funny. Just, a drow, a human, a shifter, a child, and a 90-year-old man walk into a bar. There's no joke, that's just us.
Yeah, I don't know how helpful I'd be if I was elderly. I feel like I'm already kind of hitting a wall in terms of usefulness. I'm not sure it would be in my best interest
Sure,
to
you'll be fine.
reinforce the wall. Did you say when he was? I don't know if Wave said when exactly he was getting here. Sometime
He
later
said
today.
soon.
Soon. Okay. All right. Well, dirt on his touch, but I don't know. Zyrus, are you willing to help? I don't want to ask Kipley. I feel like she'd just say yes to whatever I say, even if I say something batshit crazy.
Damn, she's like right there.
But she worked out.
Yeah, I thought she left to go follow
Oh.
Wave.
She did.
Did you go with Wave? Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I missed that. Thank you. We go to Kipley as you say that.
Oh.
Kipley, what are you doing?
Yeah. Oh, she's. I don't even remember why she followed her.
Honestly, I didn't even hear it. So we're both here now.
It
Okay.
was your insight, I believe.
After the insight, you say you're gonna go follow? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright,
Yeah.
do you try and catch up to him, or are you
Oh yeah.
trying to not be seen?
Yeah. No. She like kind of Mm. I think she
Don't like that noise.
probably like does a very half-hearted kind of scamper after him. Not really trying to be to be hidden.
Okay.
And if he sees her, she just kind of like pauses and like gives a small wave.
Unheavily intended on that. Sure. So as the door closes, you kind of scamper out of your seat. As everyone's like eating while having this, you don't. You don't have anything that you can physically eat anymore, so you're just kind of like, yeah, fuck it, race over, try and find them. And as you close the door, you see kind of far down the hallway, looking out one of the kind of larger archwayed windows. You can see Wave is staring out over the kind of like cloudscape of the morning. It seems to be like a very mist-filled morning, but you do see him.
She'd probably just kind of watch him for a long moment before she kind of moved up towards the window and kind of leaned forward, looking out of it as well. Just kind of makes a humming noise. I love foggy mornings.
They tend to just be more of a nuisance than they are anything else.
Well,
Monsters, men use it as perfect escape or perfect use to sneak up on someone.
Well, I mean, both of those are useful, right?
He just kind of turns and looks at you. What can I help you with, Kipling?
You know what? Nothing, really. Actually, I just... You know, Okay, no, that's a lie. I'm just wondering what it is with this person that's coming. Look, Mustang is... You know, she's we're all a crew, and want to make sure they're okay. And I don't know who this person is. I think... Are you attracted to Mustang at all? Like, even in the slightest?
You see his face going to beginning to explain something, to just kind of like full dead drop and just because no, why would you ask that? That's
Well,
weird.
Here's the thing. We're gonna be
I
here
don't
for
hate
like...
him as a person, but
Oh,
respectfully, no.
okay. Well, that's very interesting. Why?
Why am I not attracted to a
Yeah,
smoky
what
monster?
don't you like?
Right. So, are you trying to ask me about what what the sculptor is like, or what these non-existent feelings for Mustang are? This seems
Who's the sculptor?
weird. You just mentioned him.
Oh, that's the person that's coming?
Yes.
What's
I said
their
that,
name?
if you were listening. Bernard.
I'm not... Yeah, I'm not
Prone to that,
listening.
I'm beginning to notice, yes.
Okay, sorry. What's their name?
You see, he just stares at you for like a good couple of seconds. Bernard.
Oh, Bernard, that's right.
Mm,
And this is someone you're close to?
familiar with.
Yeah,
Yes.
familiar. How familiar?
What is the purpose of this questioning.
Well,
If you're asking if I can trust him, then yes, I can trust him with this, and I'm sure that Mustang will trust him with this process as well.
okay.
If you're asking about any other type of relationship between me and this person, that would be classified under none of your business.
Well, but why?
What type of actions have I done to make you think that we are friends so far? I wouldn't share that with most people. Probably wouldn't even share with Aldrin, so don't see any. He just kind of like gestures with his hands between you and him.
Oh. Kipley looks kind of thoughtful for a moment. Oh. Right, yeah. No, that's totally fair. I guess. You know, you're right. I guess I was just thinking. Sometimes I look at you and I just. My mind kind of goes right to Haruma, and that's not really fair. You're your own person, and. Sorry,
That's fine.
Well, it's not really. Do you have?
I'm sorry I don't have my brother's early deposition towards humans.
Oh, you don't like humanoids?
Not that I don't like them, but he most certainly loves them. I tolerate the majority of you. I'm not saying you as your group, I'm saying you as a species.
Oh, that's fine. But who do you love?
You see, he genuinely pauses like he is going to give you an answer. Go ahead, give me just a general charisma check. 'Cause you're asking a lot of questions back to back, and it looks like you are beginning to push him.
Oh.
24. Give me an insight check as well.
Oh.
I'll give you advantage with that.
Oh,
24
okay.
roll. So roll one more time. 10. Okay. So just as previously mentioned, Kipley doesn't look into other people very well. However, somehow extraordinarily charismatic despite being just a little shit occasionally. There's a point where you can see he's genuinely kind of. It looks like there's a moment where he's just about to answer right away, but stops. And kind of looks like he catches himself. And he's answered like the majority of your questions of the conversation so far, but it just seems like for whatever reason he's seemed to not trust you, but was just input, output, going through the motions until you got to this question. It's just was going to say something, and then the rest of it eludes you as he goes, I think you already know at least one of them for whom I serve. I don't like many people.
Is that Uldor?
been living under his care for over a
I
week
know.
now,
Yeah,
and you
I'm just
knew him
really
before this.
fucking bad with names.
I'm gonna give you second chance to get that right because that
Well,
is
you know,
genuinely insulting.
for a very long time, George was really the only name I was quite familiar with. The further down the alphabet you go, I just kind of crumble.
I'm not going to dive into any of that. It is Aldrin. I suggest you add
Aldrin.
that to your name of now
Okay.
2 that you can remember.
Well, is that the right answer?
For people that I can more than tolerate, yes.
Oh wow, that's so jaded. Okay, that's okay. Everyone's allowed to have their own, unique outlook on life and everything around them. So, she kind of fists the air a bit before she gives a light, gentle punching motion towards their shoulder and kind of takes a step back.
He goes, I think with you, what you have seen in your lifetime, and what brief glimpse I have had into it, you can more than understand my trepidation when it comes to trusting humanoids as a whole.
Oh boy, Kipley's...
And you only know a sliver of what they do, again and again and again.
Kipley's ears kind of droop a bit. Her eyes kind of just go a little bit darker, and she just kind of go a little distant for a moment. Yeah.
No. If you excuse me.
Oh,
He
okay.
just brushes past.
Oh, fuck. All right.
No insight check needed. He looks not upset, but definitely something surfaced that he wasn't trying to think about today.
Yeah,
As he
Kipley,
rushes past,
back.
give me a perception check real quick.
Oh. Pacha.
15. As you go to turn around back towards the dining hall, you kind of take one more glimpse out into the mist-filled morning, and you can still kind of see the wing of the dragon you're riding on, but it's rather thick fog, and you also kind of think that it's clouds for a second of how thick it is, before you just kind of shrug and go to turn back, and for a second you see something move out in the mist, but you're so high up, kind of just leaves your mind as you head back. The rest of you see Kipley return in the middle of your long meeting, and as you all finish up breakfast, you can see that there is a noise being heard from down the hallway as the door closes on one end with Kipley arriving and rejoining the party. You can hear a trumpet blare, a very over-the-top trumpet blare, followed by the sound of what you can tell be many sets of footsteps. Still very distant to the point where it's not immediately like next to the dining hall, but loud enough to be heard from your current position. and you can hear a familiar mumbling of what you presume to be Wave's voice. You can hear an exchange going on. This is all happening out of view from behind closed doors. Does anyone go to investigate, or do you simply wait here?
We hear it outside the doors of where we're at.
Correct. You came in one side, which is
Mhm.
like the door that Ultron and Mori use when they enter, because you
Mhm.
would presume it's closer to their chambers. The opposite door on the opposite side of the room where you guys came from, where you guys entered, which leads to like the main housing of the palace, is where you can hear like murmuring and some sort of entrance.
Mm.
But it's up to you. You don't have to. If you would just stay at the table, you stay at the table.
Mm. I mean, I don't know about the others. I know Kip. She just came back into the room,
Mm-hmm.
ready to, feeling slightly defeated, and then new sounds kind of twitched at her ears, and she just kind of scampers across the room. Her attention kind of broken between the table and the doors. She'd probably go investigate. Oh, look. Whatever.
Anyone else? Going once?
We're done with this way.
Yeah, Mustang's also gonna wait. It seems like a delicate situation.
Mammoth? Chaos Gremlin?
Yeah, we're just gonna chill.
Okay. So Kipley enters one door, sits down with all you guys. You can hear some sort of entrance and exchange going on, and you all watch as Kipley just side eyes the group, slowly gets up, and just makes her way over to the door of which you all entered. Do you fully exit the hallway, or do you just open the door and peek your head out?
She'd probably peek her head out first, and then if she couldn't see anything, she'd fully go look.
Sure. You pop it. Gang, new sound just dropped. You pop your head out, and you can see all the way at the end of the hallway. Only heard by some of you guys having higher passive perception, and the fact that you guys have commented on this multiple times. This is an overly large space, and it carries sound very well because there's not a lot in it. There's just essentially a long echo chamber of hallways. So it's hard to see, but at the most of what you can see for passive perception, which is 12, you can make out some sort of exchange where you can see Wave, and you can recognize Wave's voice coming from down the hallway, as there is a carriage that's pulled. You don't know from where, but is being pulled into the palace itself, down the halls, and you can see he is navigating it down a corridor, and as
Wave
it
is?
turns to its side. Yep. It looks like he's kind of doing like pilot symbols, like waving it with his hands to turn.
Gotcha.
Correct. Yeah, he is not pulling the carriage, but you see he gestures for it to go down a corridor, and it begins to turn. And as it does, you can see he pulls out a rather large chest in his hands, and places it onto the front of the carriage. I can speak English. Excuse me. I really needed to cough and I tried to say carriage. Onto the front of the carriage, where you can see the just a large, like almost meaty paw grabs onto it and just shuffles it to the side. And you see the door swings open, and a figure steps out. and there's a moment where Wave kind of gives them a bow, and then walks over and kind of does the forearm hug where they grab each other's forearm, pull each other in, embraces them, and begins having a conversation ever so briefly before you see his head turn and just make direct eye contact with you as the figure whispers something in their ear, and Wave goes and just stares at you, immediately seeing your head peek out from behind the door. And you see the figure's this kind of older man. You don't know what you were expecting prior to this, but certainly kind of older looking human, kind of gruffy face where you see it's kind of rocking a kind of patchwork beard. You see like kind of stripes of gray hair running through his head, and they begin to just briskly walk towards you as the carriage is pulled out of sight. You can still hear you didn't see a beast of labor like a horse or any kind of animal actually pulling the carriage. You just saw the carriage move, and as it moves out of sight, they begin to head into the dining hall.
Oh.
Do you stay where you are, or do you peek back in?
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Seeing both wave and then look at her and then this other person and start, like, beelining it, I think she'd probably slip back into the room, shut the door.
They're not beelining it, but yeah, just walking.
In her
briskly.
mind, they are. She scampers back to the table. And, like, stumbles into one of the chairs, keeps from knocking something over, and just says, I think the important people are coming. And they look really mean.
Mean?
Mean.
Like
Yeah.
older than 1,000 years mean?
Getting closer.
Yeah, like they want to suck the souls out of us.
Oh, that's not good.
Okay, is that not what you want to happen? Do you just, what's the symbol?
Well, yeah, I guess
The
that
doors
is.
Signal.
wrap.
Fuck.
Here. As they open up, and you can see Wave steps through first. Everyone, if I could have your attention. And he kind of gestures for you with one of his hands to rise. Does anyone stay seated?
God.
Mustangs stand up.
Kipley's like half hidden on the other side of the table, just like you see, like,
Oh my god.
her nose and eyes up.
Are you hiding behind a chair? Or hiding behind the table
No,
itself?
probably just on, like, the table itself. She's just kind of
Oh,
peeking
God.
over it.
Sure. Everyone else, are we doing any weird poses?
Jordan just stands.
Yeah,
Sarah
same with
stands
Kevin.
with you.
Damns.
As the rest of you semi-normal people stand up, you see Wave kind of clears his throat. Everyone, I would like you all to meet Bernard. I'm sorry. Good, terrible time to cough. I am dying. He goes, everyone, I'd like you to meet Bernard Bensworth, the Bard of 100 Tales, the prior spark of beginning, and one of my older compatriots of whom I still trust in this world. And you see this figure walk through. And posting visuals. As he does, you see this kind of shorter, older man. roughly about like 5'7", 5'6". Um, you can see currently is just wearing like a gentle smile on his face, is wearing this kind of beautiful ornate blue embroidered robe. Underneath you can see it has this kind of white frilled shirt. Kind of looks like a mixture between like a higher class sort of noble if they also were a pirate. It doesn't exactly look like the outfit matches or should work. But you see as he walks in, just kind of strides next to Wave and kind of pats him on the shoulder, reaching up to do so, and goes, "Ah, it is so lovely to think that you hold me in such high regards, my friend. Thank you. So this is the group I have been told about. The six. Where is and he kind of gestures at all of you, goes, I only see 4 of you.
The ride here hasn't exactly been smooth.
Oh,
There were 6 of us at one point.
my condolences.
Appreciate it.
My name is Bernard Bensworth, as previously stated. And I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say that you are Mustang Strums. And he kind of
Hey, you
nods
got good
directly
aim.
towards you. He goes, uh, I would sure hope that I can tell who is a smoky ghost and who appears to be humanoids. I have been informed of your names, but if you could go around introducing me as I have my morning meal. And he goes and sits. You watch as he goes and sits, not in Ultron's seat, but in Maury's seat, and gestures for Wave to sit in Ultron's. You see Wave just kind of like
Oh.
looks a little concerned, but just kind of smiles and nods, and pulls out the cloche and lifts it up for him, where you can see a roasted ham appears in front of him and begins to slice it as he kind of looks towards all of you. Don't all jump at once, please.
Mustang will elbow whoever's next to him.
Roll D4.
Holy mammoth.
Hey,
He elbows Mammoth.
you elbow Mammoth.
Yeah, he elbows Mammoth.
I Mammoth.
Just Mammoth.
Just Mammoth.
Kind of looks at you for a second, and you can see his smile kind of, it doesn't waver, but you can see it grows from like that soft kind of, like a resting grin into like a little bit of a toothy smile. He goes, are you a halfling child?
Yeah.
Strange. I have seen and told many stories, but a child traveling with a group like this still certainly stands out.
Well, now you're the Bard of 1001.
101, but thank you.
I like mine better.
I like to keep my stories filled with the truth. You only mix in elaborate details for lyrics.
Hmm.
A pleasure meeting you, Mammoth.
Likewise.
Turns and looks at Duradon. How about you, my long-limbed friend?
I'm Jordan. Technically Bashala right now.
Technically Bishala right now. Due to change, then.
At some point in the future.
He kind of stares at you, and there is a brief moment where he flicks his eyes over to Zyrus sitting next to you. I presume congratulations are in order then. Duradan, for now, Bishala.
Oh no, maybe. We're done.
You say maybe. And Cyrus, straight up, Actually, let me see how well she can roll this. Give me one moment. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Where is Cyrus? There she is. 21? Oh yeah, no. What's your passive perception, Duradon?
23.
So you do see it. The rest of you don't. But Cyrus palms one of the butter knives. He just straight up stabs you in the leg. Um, it's not like a deep cut, but 100% it does like legitimately stick in with the force applied for a moment before she flicks it back into her sleeve. As she kind of gives one of those forced smiles with her eyes closed, semi, she kind of looks at you and goes, uh, surely, I do not think she was too in on that joke. um, Miss, and she goes, Cyrus Amaril, just Amaril for now. And he goes, my apologies for presuming. Seems you do have something to discuss later, though. 102 stories. And finally, and he kind of like looks around the room and goes, believe we are missing one. And he just pokes his head underneath the table to make direct eye contact with Kipley.
Oh. Her eyes are just
You
like above the
do
table.
have an issue with sitting at the table. Is this more comfortable for you?
Oh. No, it's fine. She sits up a bit straighter, kind of rests her arms on the cloche in front of her. It looks like she wants to lift it, but pauses. Kind of shifts it back and forth, pushes it forward, looks over.
He stares at you for a good long moment.
This is... So you know Wave?
Are you having trouble deciding on something?
Yeah, I'm not really good with conversation, so I just kind of bounce between things.
See, he kind of looks between the cloche and you and smiles. And what would be your name, miss?
Some people call me Kay, some Kip, some Kipley, some Lee. You know, sometimes people call me weird things. I never know, really.
Which is your favorite?
I haven't really thought of that, actually.
Many names for a person. Surely you must have one.
Mostly just sister.
Oh. Now that is sweet. But I would not want to presume so much to call you so. I will stick with Kipley if that is fine.
Sure.
So, my services have been called upon. Something that is extraordinarily rare.
Kipley just points over towards Mustang.
And that
Mustang waves with both his hands.
Tell me, Mr. Strums. In all of your lifetime, have you ever met another spark? You see, as he says that, there is a moment where his humanoid form flickers for a second, and you can see his eyes turn into a smoky, kind of dark matter, where he's still humanoid, but almost like peering past the flesh. You see smoke rise out of his eyes and two red flames alight inside. And there is a moment where genuinely your body shudders, not out of concern or not out of fear, but you feel, to put it just as disturbingly truthful as possible, you feel the spark inside of you salivate.
Ugh.
And you, being an undead, feel hunger creep back into your senses once again.
I'm gonna think to the spark. Close your legs, you harlot!
You get no response.
Yeah. Mustang, he puts his fingers to his temples and he kind of scrunches his eyes. Says, nope, I've never met another spark. I actually didn't know anything about any of this until very recently.
Mm. Exactly how long have you been alive for? Give or take.
I don't know, a few hundred years.
In your life before this, what was it like?
Before the spark?
Yes.
Can't say I really know. I've been also expressively avoiding that as well.
Oh. You did not find the spark while you were alive.
No, I think the spark more found me.
Now that is interesting. Tell me, you feel something you probably haven't felt in a very long time right now, have you?
Yes.
And you see he stands up. I can recognize that unbridled power that comes with the spark. Doesn't come with many drawbacks from what you can see. Eternal life, something that others wish for. Cast spells for, sacrifice for. Control over flame. The abilities of a ghost and also the form of a humanoid. And he begins to kind of walk around the back of your chair. And as he does, go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw,
Oh,
Okay.
followed up by a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Con save is 18, and whiz save is 15.
15. Cool. You save by 1 on the Constitution saving throw. You fail by 2 on the Wiz. The spark begins to heat up, and you can feel the beginnings of a smaller detonation beginning to ramp up in either excitement or this strange new drive that you feel in him. But you begin to kind of stifle it down as much as possible, keeping your body in check. But as you're focusing on that, the mind slips for a second, and you feel as someone else tries to take the reins. And you all watch as Mustang's hand wildly swings out towards Bernard.
oh,
And just the smoke impacts, hits him in the chest, and looks like it is trying to delve through the chest itself. It doesn't look like it's a punch. It looks like he's trying to, like, Kalima Indiana Jones him. As the smoke enters the chest, you see the hand that did so almost seemingly cuts off, and the smoke enters the body through the skin, and Mustang pulls their hand back away. You take 15 points of piercing damage
Oh, fun.
as your hand is straight up cut off. You do regrow a new one. However, as you kind of like skirt back in your chair and pull away, you can see Bernard is still just standing there as he stares at you in the face, getting not directly in your face, but inching closer and closer. And he goes, as I thought so. It seems that you, very much like I, not long ago, still very much under the spark's control. And he begins to step away and walk around the table, passing everyone else as he does so. I will be truthful and honest with you throughout these endeavors, Mr. Strums. The reason that you have not found another spark is because we are not only exceedingly rare, but if you've ever felt the need to travel before in your long life, if you have ever felt a deep dread, like you should run, that you need to be somewhere else, sudden motivation for you to change careers, lifestyles, probably influenced by the spark, sensing another is near. And if it's weaker than the two, choosing to sacrifice your life to save its. It looks like you have quite the interesting companion inside of you. He's quite powerful. Very eager to consume one that is lesser than his own.
Yeah, maybe stay over there, and you see Mustang. He's like leaning as far as he can in his chair to be away from him, even though Bernard has walked away. He's still leaning and he's kind of holding his hand that got chopped off.
Oh, come now. That is not something you have to concern yourself with. I am here to fix this problem. I am here to ensure that that never happens again. I just wanted to see what kind of monster I was dealing with. And it looks like you have one that is off its leash. And that is what I come to provide you with. A leash. Spark is going to stay with you, unfortunately. As my own stays with me. It is not something you can simply whisk away by transferring you to a new body. However, from what I have been told, you seem to have an understanding that beings can be trapped inside of something and still maintain their sense of self, even if that thing is living. Your case is rare. You died and then became the spark. So the spark is only what you know. But that is not the same case for me. I was human. Well, half human, half dwarf, before I moved off this mortal plane and was consumed by the spark. It took me many years to understand my fate, to try and will it to be something more. But with Wave's assistance, I was able to discover a new method of survival. One of which where I did not put the stakes into the hands of an ever hungry and ever growing beast. Is this something that you would want? Genuinely. And do not fear the opinions of others in this room. As you see, he shoots a glance over towards Wave, who has just kind of been eyeing this entire conversation with a bit of... the concern has stayed, but you can see there was a spike of interest as he watched the entire hand encounter go through. But as Bernard shoots that look over towards him, you see he kind of gives him another, like, genuine questioning look, like, genuine confusion.
Mustang watches that little interaction there with Wave with a very, very measuring stare. And then his eyes flick back to Bernard. Well, I mean, power, immortality, all this stuff, meaningless if I can't live the life I want to live, and it's meaningless if I have to spend it all alone. And right now, every time I've gotten close with anyone, all I've ever done is hurt them. I've never helped anyone that I wanted to help. And I've been running from that all my life. Putting this thing on a leash is going to make it easier to stay in one place. Then I say, bust out the chains.
Give me a persuasion check.
Okay. Persuasion. We're persuading. It's an 18.
An 18. Okay. And this is Mustang's genuine intention.
Yeah, he's being very honest and forthcoming.
Yep, I assumed. You see there's a moment where Bernard kind of just holds eye contact with you. And the previous looks that he's been giving you is one of kind of interest, playfulness, and just observing. The look that he gives you now is a cold, dead stare, where you can see the light beginning to flicker behind his eyes as he reads your words extremely slowly and carefully, and gives a very long pause before he actually responds. I was told that you initially wanted to keep this relationship with the spark. If there was a way that you could you take that? Remain as you are now?
I mean, of course, it's a big change that I'm looking down the barrel of making, and it would be nice to stay the way that I've known because it's comfortable, but comfortable doesn't necessarily mean good. So I want to do whatever means I'll be in control of my own life and get to help the people I want to help and accomplish what I want to accomplish. Whatever that looks like. Spark or no spark.
That was going to be my next question. If I said that I could remove the spark entirely from you, how would that make you feel?
I feel
You sense a
a lot.
genuine feeling of excitement from something inside of you. Go ahead and make me an insight check.
Okay. Genuine feeling of excitement. Oh, Spark, calm down. Okay. Ooh, an 8.
An 8. Oh, that's rough, buddy. Yeah, you're unsure of what it is.
Uh-oh, I think my Wi-Fi's shitting the bed.
Uh-oh. Are you good? Ash. You just hear the dunk, and Mustang disappears.
My Wi-Fi just took a dookie. I missed everything that happened after I rolled.
Nothing happened. You're good.
Oh, okay.
Here's the fun thing: an 8 doesn't get you anything. So, so I just said that you are unsure of exactly what that feeling meant. That is all.
Okay. You'd have to explain the pros and the cons to me. All of this is just a tool at the end of the day, and the spark is getting in my way. And if it's not going to help me, then sure. But if I can turn it into something that can help me, then I'm not going to rule it out.
Tell me, what is your true feelings towards your years as the spark so far? Have you enjoyed your life so far? Relished its gifts? Abided by its company?
Well, I can't say it's really been much company until recently. I've just kind of existed. It hasn't started rearing its ugly head in a way that has been real tangible, except for these past few months. So
So you're
I'd have
going
to
through
say
growing pains.
yes. Puberty a few hundred years late, if you will.
I apologize if my joke does not fit the current conversation. I am simply trying to understand what kind of spark you have and what kind of man you are. Because Wave has asked me to do this. And Wave is a very dear and cherished friend of mine for showing me that I can continue on living without being a threat to the world I enjoy being in. However, it does not change what I was before. That does not simmer the passions I had, the enamorment I had with the flame, understanding its truth, understanding the countless stories that it has seen in its years of life. Trying to figure out what it is, trying to commune with it on a more personal basis. That was my previous goal before I entrapped it in myself. It seems like you are simply happy to live a life, whether it is with the spark or not at this point. Is that correct?
Not just a life, the life I want. I've lived a life this whole time. I want to live the life I want. Spark's gonna get in the way, then it's gotta go. But if it's something I can manage, it can stay on the leash.
What is that ideal life, Mr. Strums?
Oh, it's something sappy. You'd laugh.
Oh, try me.
Well, where I come from in the future, this is pretty far-fetched. But perfect world, I have a nice little house in a sunny spot on a hill, with grass underfoot, maybe a few cattle, where no one's got to fight for anything that they deserve. Everyone's safe, everyone has a home, and all the people that I care about, they're there. And I don't have to worry about whether or not the land's gonna disappear out from under our feet, or if someone's gonna show up and, kill us for just being who we are. Just something peaceful. But I know that to get to that kind of place, it's gonna take a lot of fighting. So I want to be strong enough to make sure I can protect that dream.
It is certainly not a bad dream nor ambition. Simple,
Simple?
but beautiful in a way. What you ask now does not seem to be unachievable in any way. Why not just ask the Emperor himself to grant you said
Ah.
lands and peace? I am sure that he could carve out its own continent for you. Live out your days safely here.
You know, dreams are meant to be dreams for a reason. I don't just want that for me. I want that for anyone who's looking for a home. And I think if I had the ability to make that happen for other people and I just sat idly on some continent handed out to me by an emperor, I think I'd feel pretty bad.
So it is not just your peace that you wish for. It is peace
Yeah,
among peoples.
exactly. You know, what you asked was for my ideal, and now we're getting a little more realistic. That it's not necessarily something I'm meant to have, but I know someone out there deserves it more than I do. I want to make sure that they get it.
Let me ask you this. Do you have no fear in your heart that if we entrap the spark, you will lose everything that it gave you, including your life? Because that is a very real possibility. I have only ever done this once. And I will not say it twice. Just because your Wi-Fi is shitting the bed.
Hello?
Hello.
What did I miss? Sorry, I did not hear a damn thing.
What a perfect spot to cut out on.
That
He
Wi-Fi
goes,
shit out.
I shitted it. You see Bernard looks at you and goes, that ideal life and the dream you talked about before, it is a respectable one. But is that something you would be willing to give up to try and separate yourself from the spark? If we try to entrap it within inside of you, there is a very good chance that you could die.
Well,
It is the one that gave you life as a creature who is already in death when it met you.
I feel like this is a kind of a dead end question because either I die trying to do this or I die blowing everyone up someplace down the line. You know, if I either way, it sounds like I might die. So if I have to pick one, I'd rather die trying to do the right thing.
Give me a persuasion check.
Another one. All right.
Does anyone's passive insight over 17? Equal to or over 17?
No.
It's an 18 again.
18? Okay. Duradon?
I don't believe mine is though. No, 15.
Okay. Alright. You all see that during this line of questioning, the more and more that Bernard just kind of just drilling Mustang with all these questions, he's doing so in a manner where he's not trying to exactly rush him with back-to-back questions so you can give him time to think, but also following the line of questions given, it is very clear that whatever idea that you had of what person he would be when Wave mentioned that someone would be here to change him, even with 15s across the board, there's an understanding in the room right now that Bernard has no intention of actually doing this if Mustang didn't want to. And that kind of feeling leads to some deeper questions as you all look around at each other and glancing at Wave and Bernard. As Bernard looks back towards you and goes, if there's something that you are willing and something that you are interested in, I will provide my services. I was taught by some of the foremost craftsmen when it comes to the art of molding. Sealing, that was taught by Wave himself, but I will be able to make the shape and form of which you desire. Whether or not you can withhold the spark inside of it, that is going to be up to you. I will warn of you of the risks now. You could die. The spark could fully take over. You could lose the spark forever. And this process could fail. Or it could just simply consume you. And cause that ever-fearing detonation you've been trying to avoid. So I suggest we do this in a safe space. If knowing all of that, you are still interested.
Yeah, I still see that. Worst
I,
comes to worst, and oh yes, Kipling.
I have a question. What's a safe space?
Something that doesn't mind getting hot.
What if it does get hot?
That is what the space is for. I am sure that Wave has something in mind. And he kind of looks back towards Wave.
Yeah, Kipley's eyes kind of shift to Wave questionably.
And Wave nods and goes, my lab is the perfect place for this type of experiment, as there's nothing that you can really damage there.
So your lab can take extreme heat?
My lab isn't on the same plane as existence as this, so even if it does, it can be reshaped.
Okay.
Bernard looks back towards Mustang.
Yeah, Kipley looks over towards Mustang too.
So what will it be, Mr. Strums? You know the risks.
The choice is still obvious to me. I mean, again, either I die hurting people or I die safe, contained in a lab, and it'll be easier to deal with me that way, wouldn't it? That's what this is, right?
I'm sorry, you cut out there, what?
No, I just said because that's what this is, right? We gotta deal with it. Or something to be dealt with.
In my humble opinion, being something to be dealt with is not exactly what I came here for. I came here to give a man who is struggling with a new identity, a new problem, ways to deal with it. If you did not want
I
to go
like your
through with
attitude
this,
better.
I would never force you to go through with this procedure. And seeing as I am far more skilled with the molding of a body than Wave, I presume that he did not offer this procedure himself.
No, he expressly called you for this. Yes.
So
Exactly.
you've been through this procedure and no issues?
Correct, I crafted my own body. I made myself anew.
And
And
this
while I do
this
lack, therefore, and he kind of holds up his hand, and you can see he cuts himself, taking one of the knives and just giving a little nick. And you do see blood begins to drip down. He goes, although I am no longer as you would put it, undead, a remnant of a spark from a different era. And you can see as the blood begins to drip, the wound begins to sear, and you watch as a little bit of smoke leaks out and it closes. I am still very much myself.
can
The
I
spark no longer controls me, it no longer speaks to me, and I simply wield what little powers of it remain. I assure you, I am just as much of Bernard Bensworth as I was before.
any worries that must what kind of things do we need to worry about that Mustang might not have the same outcome?
I have already listed them for you.
I
He could die.
Yep. Okay.
The spark could simply take over his form,
Right.
rejecting this process.
Yep. Okay.
And the spark could also use this to leave his body, leaving him as a corpse and taking the new form and destroying it, causing the ever-worrying detonation that has been building up, from my understanding.
And if Mustang wins, then they can choose the new form?
It is not a matter of winning, it is a matter of understanding. Sure, they must force their will upon it, but I find it far easier to persuade than try and force something into chains. I think Mustang has a similar outlook from what I have been told.
Yes, sir.
I came to an understanding with my spark. He knew there was nothing else that my body could handle. There was not much time left, and simply, if he wanted to continue living, he had to give up some of his precious desires. And so here we are.
When do we want to do this? When do you want to do this, Mustang?
As soon as possible. I say rip the band-aid off. I've been ruminating on this for the past.
Okay.
Very well.
Oh, wait. Kiplis going.
In my life is someone else, or you know, he whistles and mimics like spiraling off the mortal coil.
Kipli, like, kind of slips out of a chair and scoots over towards Mustang, or to Mammoth, Mammoth, can I have that talisman?
Sure. And he'll just hand it over.
Okay. I'll give it back, I promise. And she's going to go under the table.
Oh God.
And you just see like a hand come up above the table line and hold her talisman up to you, Mustang.
Mustang will take it, but he's also going to not just take it, but he's also going to take her hand and kind of lean down to look at her under the table. You know, Ghibli, if I do go, I want you to know that I'm not going gentle. I'm going to fight as hard as I can.
You just feel like Kipli just kind of grip around your legs, like just hugging. And you just kind of hear, I want you to fight. I really do. Even if it blows up the entire world. Why not?
Well, because then I'd blow up you too. That's why. I'm going to fight so I can be there for all of you and not take you down with me. That's the only way I want to be. And if I can't keep y'all afloat, then there's no point for me to drag you down, burn you up with me.
Well, it's our choice if we want to burn with you or not, is it not?
I can't let that happen. I'm sorry. And now he'll let go of.
Yeah, Kibble or Mustang probably just kind of feel Kibley's face just kind of pressed into her shins for a moment before she kind of backs away. Conversation probably continues before she just kind of appears back in her chair.
Oh, Ghibli! Hi, Shayla. Mustang is looking at Bernard now. How soon can we do this?
I am simply waiting for you. I would suggest you make peace with all of your friends in case the worst comes to worst.
Right.
As soon as you're ready, I am here.
Okay. Thank you, Bernard. Could I ask you a question?
By all means.
You know, you had a piece of the spark, got a piece of the spark. Does that kind of make us brothers?
It is left to interpretation for exactly what the spark is. It lacks any sort of real gender or familial bonds, but we at the time would be connected to the same overarching being. What relation that makes us? He just kind of shrugs. It is up to you.
Well, I've never had a brother before, and I would like one, so I'm gonna say we're brothers. Does that work for you, Bernard?
Make me a persuasion check.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Another one. 22 on Be My Brother, please.
You needed a 23. Sorry. Now you see he reaches out his hand.
Mustang will also reach out his hand. This time, not so hungrily.
Go ahead and make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna use. You know what? I got
you
a lot
wanna
of
burn
bullshit to
that?
come. No, I'm not. It's got an 11.
11.
Yeah.
So you see his smile when he does this because he is fully aware of what's going to happen. As you reach out your hand, you see the hand once again reaches out for him. This time it goes for his throat. You watch as there is a brief bit of, like, for the slightest moment, almost like there's been like a smell in the room of, like the smell of like rain is brewing, but it hasn't actually dropped yet. You get a little whiff of everyone here that can smell of just rain, and there is just a burst of water that just exudes between the two of you, and forces Bernard's hand back, and you just hear, "Can you stop doing that?" As Wave, trident out, is just pointing it at Bernard behind him. Do not play with him like this before we are going into a very serious matter. I am prepping the room. He kind of looks towards you, Mustang. Prepare yourself, and you can say your goodbyes in case the worst happens. Vanishes into mist.
Right. That was a good one, Bernard.
Yeah, Bernard kind of nods and goes, "Hey, listen, I was going to pull back before you could reach me. It is okay, but I will let you. I will give you a moment with your friends.
Thanks.
I'll be waiting outside." And he kind of opens the doors from which he came and closes them behind him with a smile and a wink. You guys are left alone.
Well, I never thought I might die without a hat. That's a grim prospect. Mustang kind of drums his fingers against the table. It's clear he's making these jokes, but he's uncomfortable.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
I appreciate the vote of confidence, but I want you to be prepared for the reality that we are about to face. It's very, very possible that you might have to go on without me.
Why do we need to be prepared for that?
I'd rather you be prepared than unprepared, since it seems like it's going to be a very real possibility.
So you really think this is... You think you're not going to be able to succeed at this?
I think it's going to be just fine, but...
Well, you don't!
Listen, I'm just trying to be realistic, for once. I've been dealing with this for not very long, but in the brief instances that the spark has reared its ugly head, it has been exactly that, ugly. A lot of people have gotten hurt, and I haven't been able to stop it. And that's just the truth of it. Like I said, I'm gonna try my damnedest. I'll give it everything I've got.
Why?
Why what?
Why give it everything you've got?
Because this is what I want. This is my last chance to have the opportunity to be the man that I want to be. You know, you heard him say it. This whole thing that lives within me is completely paradoxical to everything that I've ever wanted. And everyone that I've ever grown close with, that I've wanted most to help, I haven't been able to help because I haven't been able to control myself. I felt like I've wanted to run. I've burned them in one way or another. And I don't want to do that anymore. And just like we talked the other night about you, Mammoth, and how you really need someone who's going to be a good role model, someone who's steady, that all of you guys can rely on. And if I'm falling apart at every given inconvenience that slightly pisses me off, I can't be that for you. But if I can do this, then maybe, just maybe, I can.
Well, just make sure you're doing it for you and not for us.
This is what I want.
Okay.
You see Zyrus just kind of walks up and gives you a pat on the shoulder. Well, I'm sure that you will be fine, but just in case, worst comes to worst, it's been nice having company aboard the ship. And you aren't the worst among them.
That is high praise from you indeed, Cyrus. I appreciate it. I would offer you all the gold that I have in my pouch if I died,
I'll
but
take it.
you'll come up empty-handed,
Oh,
stuck with the guards.
you know, you really got my hopes up there. Well, I guess you have to live now so you can make more money, so then next time you die, I'll have that. Can I get, like, dibs in the future, then?
We'll revisit this.
I'm jesting. I'm
I
joking.
know.
Good luck.
Thank you. But you two, at least, and he points to Duradon and Cyrus, you guys are going to help me on body duty. I suppose you two could help if you want, but particularly you two. You know, it's not all over till the fat lady sings, and if the fat lady is going to sing, I want to look beautiful while she does it.
That's
I've never
fair.
made a body before, but sure.
I think maybe since I'm brothers with Bernard, maybe we should try and make it look like we're related. Something in his image.
Kind of creepy, but sure.
That's how family works, isn't it?
I mean, typically you don't really get a say in how your genetics end up making you look, but
Yeah, no, it's kind of nature taking its course.
Yeah, I got stuck with being short.
You're a
well, that's
child.
your race.
Yeah, you're also a child, so you will
I
get
don't see
taller.
what that has to do with anything.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I mean, Mammoth, I think there are spells that like temporarily allow you to be bigger.
Oh yeah, I can do that. I'm just playing around.
Ah,
Do you think I'm dumb?
Oh.
What?
no,
Maybe.
you
What,
explain.
Cyrus?
I'm joking.
That
He
was a
did-
bad joke.
Duradon thinks I'm dumb.
I don't think you're dumb. You just spent last night explaining stars. Which, by the way, guys, revolutionary ideas from this
Oh,
from this
God.
young man.
You know, like, there are people literally who have been here since the beginning of time that you could ask about, right?
I mean, but like, if they've been here the entire time, do you think they know about like space?
They probably know a whole lot. You know what? I'm not gonna go into this. There's bigger things at hand.
Yeah, I'm gonna go if you guys are gonna start hashing this out. Does anyone have any other who, what, wheres, or whys they want to toss my way before I go skedaddle with Bernard?
What? You're not gonna. We can't be there.
Well, I mean, you can try. I mean, he didn't say no. So if you want to come, please come. I'd love to have you. Just make sure to stay where it doesn't get so hot.
I mean, it sounds like you're either going to blow the fuck up or not.
Yeah, maybe there's a nice viewing room. That sounds wave-like. He'd be a little voyeur, I bet.
Oh, Mustang.
You don't want to watch the light show? I bet it'll be one of the ages.
I mean, I'll watch.
You would, Mammoth. Just make sure if it gets too bright, close your eyes. Wouldn't want you to go blind.
All right.
Right. Well, I am going to get on the dusty trail here, which hopefully will not be so dusty for so long. And he kind of brushes off some of his clothes. Is anyone coming?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Right, you leave the room.
Yep.
As you go to walk out, you can see Bernard still just kind of standing there. It looks like in the meantime he has picked up what looks like to be this tiny, like a tiny little piece of wood. It has a little metal spike coming out of it. And it's just gently rubbing the two together. Is making this little carving into it. You see, he goes. So are you ready? Oh, I suddenly turned Scottish. My apologies.
Yeah. I am ready as I'll ever be.
We're all ready.
Oh, I don't believe you're all coming.
Yes, we are.
Can they watch?
You- Listen, I am. I was once a flame, and even though I am not fully anymore, I am still able to handle fire better than others. If you do implode, you would most likely incinerate all of your friends. I would
Right, no waiting room then.
something that you would not want for them.
That is exactly what I am trying to avoid. And so he turns around and face everyone. I suppose this is where I bid you adieu.
All right. Well, I'll see you later. And he'll run up and hug his leg.
Mustang, he'll get down on his knees and he will wrap his arms around you. He can almost do it twice because you're so small and he's so big. And he looks up from Mammoth and then he looks to Kipley and he holds out one arm.
Kipley has a frown on her face. She just kind of walks up to them and she doesn't come close enough to touch, but she does just leans in a bit, not making eye contact. Just if you're really going to do this alone, because you're fearful of us getting caught in the crossfire. She kind of shrugs. I understand, but I just want you to remember this in the future. Should this ever come up again. For the rest of us. She kind of ducks her head a bit and then just takes a few steps back.
Mustang just gives her a solemn, knowing nod before he lets Mammoth go, and then he stands and he turns to face Duradon, and he holds out his hand for a handshake.
Jordan will shake your hand. Good luck. Don't blow up.
Tall order. And then he'll look to Zyrus and offer her a handshake as well.
She gives you a firm. She goes with like a firm forearm grip.
Nice. Keep everyone sane, will you? I know that's a big ask, but shockingly, somehow you, with mischief in your head, seem to be rather even keel relative to the rest of us.
Funny joke. Do my best.
With that,
Knock
he
'em.
will shuffle off the buffalo.
He goes, knock him dead, or maybe knock yourself alive. Either one. Good luck.
That's a good one.
And as you go to turn, because you have this 17 passive perception, right?
I think so, yeah. I'm gonna look. It might be less. No, it's 17.
As you go to step out of the dining hall, you step towards Bernard. You can see down the hallway, out of the corner of your eye, about like 100 or so feet. You see both Noelle and Rowan just kind of giving you a small wave and thumbs up.
Wave back.
And you watch as Wave apparates next to Bernard and goes, "All right, it's ready." Bernard goes, "Very well. My friend, let us do this. Excuse me." He kind of gives you a smile. "My brother, let us do this together." And Wave places a hand on both your back and his and disappears. And you watch as Bernard, Mustang, and Wave fade away into mist, leaving just the party sitting alone in the palace. Now, I will ask you this because it's 12:05. Do you want to go through with this process? It could take through of about like maybe 30, 45 minutes if everyone wants to go that late.
I'll leave it up to everyone else because it's only 9 o'clock for me.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I'm fine.
Run it.
We push on? Run it! We push on. You appear in the same lab that everyone else is already familiar with. When Kipley had her little lich hungry moment. You can see it is basically an empty space void of actual color. It looks like you are standing in space itself. You see stars flitter above you. The sound of a rolling ocean, can be heard in the background. And lying in front of you, there is a various different number of both alchemical, metallic substances, and just a an endless hallway almost of just shelves with various different materials on them. And to your right, as Wave begins to walk, you see there is a room that is only about a 20 by 20 chamber, sealed completely. There's no windows, there's no light in there. It is just darkness. The only way that you can tell that it is separate from the rest of the chamber is that there is a bed lying in the middle of the floor that looks like it is made of stone. And the kind of polished, somewhat gray stands out amongst the darkness. And as you approach, he gestures for you and Bernard to step in and goes, I'll be waiting out here. Good luck.
You will give Wave a nod and make no crass remarks this time, but you can go inside.
You enter. Both you and Bernard step in, and Bernard gestures for you to lie down and goes, the first part of this is to prepare your mind before your body. Making the new body is simple. I already have provided a basic foundation. You see he pulls over to his bag, and you watch as he pulls its flaps backwards and turns it inside out, and a flap of clay explodes onto the floor, and you watch as it is in a kind of like vaguely humanoid shape. You watch as he begins to just kind of force it and just begin to lightly align its details back to its original state as he lies it down next to you in a similar stone slab. It is already prepared. The transferring of this process relies heavily on your bond with the spark. If you can convince it in any way, shape, or form to go along with this process, it'll be substantially easier. If it fights back, you already know what happens if problems arise.
Yes, sir. I do. All too well.
Go in strong. Be prepared for the worst, but more importantly, be fast with your thought. Witty. If you need to lie to it, lie to it. If you need to persuade it, persuade it. But know that this is the creature that has seen everything that you have seen. It understands you at a level of which not many others can do so. I found reaching out to its honesty because of that was worked enough for me to have Wave chain it and seal it within me, but it may not work for you. If we have to subdue it, we can subdue it, but... He kind of looks around at the chamber around him. Let's hope it doesn't get to that. Good luck.
Now, is it too late for one last question?
You see he's just about to strum his guitar and start playing start the beginning of casting a spell and goes, this would be the last question you would probably be able to ask, yes?
That's just a piece of advice, and I guess for my clarity going into this. Obviously, I can't lie to this thing because it knows me like no other, like you said. All your talking has made it sound like your spark and my spark might want different things, but it was my understanding that they were all a piece of the same being.
Correct.
Okay, sir.
They are as part of the same being, yes. But different aspects of self can exist over a multitude of lifetimes.
Okay.
The one true desire that I have found within myself and the one other spark that I met was that it wanted to return home and consume other sparks. We're trying to avoid that.
Right.
Anything else? You see his fingers kind of like the pick is waiting to strum the guitar.
Let her rip.
Good luck, my friend. It begins to play.
Brother.
You feel... you say brother, as the last thing you say as you begin to feel a deep, kind of overbearing melody wash over your form. And as it does, you feel your mind beginning to fade to black, your vision slowly tunnel visioning out, the black lines closing in until you're in complete darkness. And you open your eyes again. You look out, not over a desert, but instead over rock. Boiling rock. You can see the terrain extends for as far as the eye can see. And it's familiar. Unexpected so, but familiar in the sense that you've already seen this once before. Thinking back when you first met the strange man who was asking for a different name, different plane than this was shown to you in that vision. And you can feel the flames beneath you begin to roil. You can see off in the distance there's what looks like to be a caldera in the midst of slowly leaking out a familiar substance of lava. And while you don't see him immediately, you hear the voice. Here we are. So you're trying to get rid of me now for good. Is that it? I save your life, I bring you to this point, but as soon as I start asking for something that would help both you and me, all of a sudden, it's time to cut ties just like that, huh? So you hear the spark enter your mind.
This is all in my head?
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as you can tell, you look around briefly and you can't find the source of the voice.
Now, I just got done talking with a guy who politely told me, and rightfully so, that you have seen everything that I have seen. You know me truly, deeper than any other being possibly could. So that means you know that what you just said is so far from the truth.
And yet here we are. You're seeking to control something that you don't know why it's happening. You're seeking to look for answers when you don't even know the question, Mustang. You're just bowing like a good little dog to wave, 'cause what? Because you think he's stronger than you, you're scared of him. Give me a proper reasoning for why you're even listening to this person in the first place, because he's threatened to kill you. Countless people have threatened to kill us before, and where do they lie, and where do we? I'll give you the short of it. You already know. One's in the ground, one's in a nice comfy little bed. You're welcome for that. I plan on keeping it that way. Now if you change your mind, and you actually want to start doing proper change in this world, for fancy little speeches about wanting to live peacefully, we both know you ain't a man of peace. You never have been, Mustang. We've tried that before, didn't work. Over and over again, and I've kept you alive all the way through that, and now you just want to, what? Start fresh? Hope that will be a brand new start. New body, new you, no me. What's it gonna be
I-
then?
I've done things that I'll never come back from. You're right. Do I deserve a fresh start? No. But the alternative is being someone who doesn't try. I think a lot of things have gone wrong in my life, not because of you, but because of me. But I'm ready for it to not be that way anymore. I'm ready for each day that I wake up to try and be a better man than I was the day before. Because the alternative is being someone who doesn't, and that is unacceptable. And now that I've started to try to be someone different, whether or not I deserve the things that I have, deserve the chances that I've got what I've got, so I'm going to do what I will with it. You, now of all times, have decided, okay, time to start doing my sparky thing all over everything. And also, how many times did I try to look inward to try and ask you what I should be asking, to try and seek those answers, and you stayed quiet? I think we might be at a bit of an impasse here as to who was doing what they shouldn't.
What you were looking for was some sort of communion. I ain't a deity. I'm something far beyond that. It's not as easy as simply looking in, Mustang. People are always watching, they're always listening. And if you keep in your little mind for what happened recently on that island, Paradise Peak, you know what happens when I try and commune with you and someone else is there to hear. Listen. They're offering you chains and false promises of freedom while they put you in a cage. They don't want to help you. They want you to help them prove a point that I am a threat. I only started like this because you started getting stronger. Because you started drawing more attention. I ain't blaming it on you, boy. I am simply stating facts and circumstance. You grew out of your bridges and you needed a new pair, and I can't always provide something as stable as you might be hoping, but by the gods, I kept you alive through it. In the depths of Portcliff were your friends there to save you. Who was there, Mustang? Who made sure that you stayed alive, that you stayed safe? I know it's not a damn one except me.
This just ain't living anymore. It's just not dying. Okay.
Oh, that's rich from you.
All right. So, you say they see you as a threat. What would you fancy yourself, if not a threat? How would you like them to see you?
I'm a passenger that's trying to get home. I'm a captive of this plane. I am something that they want rather destroyed than seeing his ideal made true.
Okay. I don't necessarily believe in his ideals either. I'm just working with what I have. And if you just want to go home, maybe I can help you with that.
Well, ain't that sure as sunny? All of a sudden, you're open to helping me. For what? Let me guess. The price of putting me in a cage.
Hold on. First, you've never asked for my help. This is the first time we've had a chance to talk. Had you asked sooner, again, you've watched my whole life. My whole life is based around trying to get people home and trying to find homes for people. Your story would have been very compelling to me. Now we are stuck between a rock and a hard place. This is what we got. I'd love to help you. Wish you would have asked sooner. Really wish you would have. But this is what we've got right
Wouldn't
now.
have even known what I was before. You didn't even know what you were for the first few hundred years you existed with my blessing. Random voice pops into your head after you get out of a ground, after you walk out of a grave and you start listening to it. Be honest with me, Mustang, because that sounds real convenient coming from you, that you would simply want to help them.
When have I wanted anything different? You've seen my whole life. There has not been an instance where I have wanted anything more than to just help. And for some reason, that has just been the most difficult goalpost I could possibly set for myself. If I could come away with this just having helped one person, even if person or thing is you, I'll be glad.
And tell me, what good is it gonna do if you help me into a box of which I can't get out of?
We'll find a way. I think it's a little more nuanced than that.
Oh, that's exactly what they're offering. You just don't know it because they're not telling it to you. I could tell the second that I touched that other fellow, the weaker spark. He ain't cowered in a cage, he's locked in there and there's no door. There's no jail cell, there's no jailer. He is just gone. An excuse for what he could have been, for what we could have been. One that will never see the brightness of our home shine upon his face anymore.
You sure wanted to eat him like he was still in there, so
He's dead, Mustang. There's nothing left of him.
that's not what you were acting like before. You were pretty desperate to grab whatever was going on in there.
As they flaunted what was left of me like a little sweet treat in front of my mouth. And sorry to say, you don't get to see many of us around. So if there was a chance that I could get him back, you're sure as hell right I was going to try and take it.
Alright, say Bernard died. What would happen to that piece of this part?
Same thing what happens if you die. We're destroyed, passed on, lost. That's why there's not many of us, Mustang. Because we don't often entrust ourselves to people. You gotta be damn sure that whatever host you're trying to get into, whatever person you're trying to save, is gonna be willing to do the same thing for you. And that is why I chose you. That is exactly why you are standing right where you are right now. Because I saw you were a good, decent person. I saw you sacrifice where others would have just ran. You were better than the rest. And you weren't even awakened. You were just a man. A nameless man who no one would have been able to remember who they were. And that's where your story would have ended. Now I'm not going to keep flaunting credit for you being alive because there's no point. But you gotta understand, this is not as simple as me communicating my desires to you and we simply walking down to the plane of fire together. People would want to see me theirs. People would want to see you dead for what you are, for what I made you. In the same way that creatures like Wave only see me for what he fears, because he doesn't understand.
regardless of what he understands and what he doesn't. You're right. I want to help you. I really, really do. But I can't do it if our partnership looks like destruction. If it's explosive and hurting the people that I care about, I cannot go on like that. Is this really the only way that we can be?
They're giving you an option. I'll give you mine. The more flames I have in my control, the more stable I'll be. You want to work together? You want to bring me home? You want to be the nice man you claim to be? Why don't you start by finishing the job for what should have killed that little man in front of you before? What he got inside right now of him is just coals and embers. You should have no problem taking that from him. I'll keep it this way. I know you like my gifts. I know you miss having that little gun of yours. I'm well aware that there's nothing in this world that will be possibly nearly close to what you are used to. You need my powers in order to use that, and you found that out recently, that of which I am sure. So if you want to survive in this world, if you want to even think about helping others, you gotta help yourself first, and I am the only one that has done so for as long as you have been alive. So help me help you. Otherwise, I'll be helping myself.
That's what you're offering me. It's just more the same. It's always been helping one person and then hurting two. If I've got to hurt more people to help you, that isn't going to work because he's more than just the embers of the spark that's in him. He's Bernard now. Who knows? Maybe he's got a family. Maybe he's got friends. Maybe he's got, I don't know, a fucking cat.
We've already buried families and friends before that never stopped you.
You know what? You're right. It didn't, but it should have. I'm not going to make those mistakes again. Yeah, as much as you want me to, as much as it would be easy to be the same person that I was, I'm done. Done with that. I'm not proud of who that person is, who I was. And I need something different. This is just, you're never going to change, are you?
Sounds like you've already made up your mind then. I had high hopes for you, John. Mustang, the man who strums, whatever you like to be called. In a world where countless creatures would seek to abuse my power, I could have chosen murderers, fiends, countless worse than you. I guess shame on me for relying on the good. And you begin to feel the presence, not just the voice, but that same feeling of when you are about to implode. Not build up, but fully leave your body.
All right.
And you watch as the ground beneath you erupts. There is stone jettisoning out that rises up on the platform. And you can see almost like a hand itself is coming out to grab you out of the ground. You see a being emerge from that plume of volcanic lava, from that plume of volcanic smoke that begins to rise out. And as you turn and watch, you can see there is two skeletal hands that begin to climb out towards you, and you hear the voice, no longer in your mind, but directly in front of you. I'm gonna give you one last chance, Mustang. Don't be stupid. Help me, I help you. It's just that simple. You try and chain me, you try and put me back from where he wants me to be. We're done.
If you can't stop hurting people, then that's it. We're done. You're right. Do your worst.
Invitation accepted. Go ahead and roll me initiative.
Shit. All right.
For perspective wise of what that mindscape and your current situation looks like, go ahead and plop your token at the bottom here. And I'll go ahead and introduce you to what little spark you've been dealing with so far in your head. Now the map's not going to do it justice, so I'll go ahead and slap the game visuals in there as well.
Oh, brother.
Yeah.
He's got the. Yeah, Jesus Christ. All right.
Are they that size compared to Mammoth?
Don't spark.
That's him. That's John Spark. Oh my god. What was the question about being compared to size to Mammoth?
That's...
Oh, you mean the hand?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. So you'd be all the way down here at the bottom. You see standing atop is this body made of pure flame with nothing but just the skeleton outline of a creature that once was. Go ahead, make me a perception check before we start.
Okay. Perceive. A 25.
25? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
You have almost without a doubt, because you know the spark has no physical form, or at least to the best of your knowledge. From what you can gauge, best guess, going off of size, Spark's roughly around, the current skeleton's roughly around 6'6". A little bigger.
It's the same
With the
height as
flames
me.
wreathing around them. As you walk up to it, you have a very strong feeling that that's your own goddamn skeleton. So, what you get on initiative, bud?
Oh, I forgot to roll it. Let me roll it. Hold on.
Pull that up right now.
Oh, a 12.
12? Okay.
Yeah.
luckily for you, the spark rolled really bad.
Yay!
You got a 6. So you are going first. As you walk up, you can see the hand, by the way, is still moving. The arm is
Ugh.
slowly rising, and you feel like you're on a timer here.
Timer.
But
Okay.
it is your turn, and you do see the spark sitting at the top, looking like he is beginning to approach you.
Okay. I don't have a ton of options because all of my spells are fire spells.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? Okay. Let's see. I think. Okay, another question. Do I have access to any of my item abilities, or are they all defunct?
You ended last session with an understanding that you are going to be unable to channel your specifically gunslinger abilities for any inferior items to the Prime Monica. You would have to either forge a new one, or you'd have to find an alternative way of representing one.
Okay.
You, to the best of your understanding, you could you certainly have a creative mind and certain ways that you can try, but item wise, you don't have anything that's going to be up to the task. If you want to try something that's a little unorthodox, absolutely, you can try.
No, I'm just strategizing a little bit here. I was more okay, well, I guess I will take this gamble. Because it's more about like my ghost powers.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're going to try and attempt to use the now is this pathway or just stairs here?
The stairs.
Okay. We're gonna try and use the black lung ability to put like a big black cloud here.
Interesting. Okay.
Kind of. Wait, you know what? Actually, that's not worth the gamble. I'm gonna try and cast polymorph on him.
You're gonna try and cast polymorph, or you're gonna try and turn him
Yeah.
into?
I don't know, something lame. Like a frog.
Okay. Try and turn him into a frog.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a wisdom saving throw. What's
Yeah.
the DC?
That's like I think 15.
That is a natural 16 on the die
That's
plus
so fucked up.
5.
Can
You
I?
try
Oh,
and
fuck.
warp. You try and warp the space around him, to force his size down to that of a frog, and you watch as with the magic itself of the spell, as the symbols begin to glow from you playing. Are you playing your guitar right now to cast?
Yeah, that's what we got.
Yep. As you're strumming the notes, you watch as some musical notes begin to form around him and try and wrap into a cage, and you watch as the flames evaporate all of the symbols.
Yeesh. All right. It's not good.
Bonus action movement.
Bonus action, nothing. Movement. We'll stay where we are.
Cool. End of your turn. Spark. Spark walks up to the kind of edge of the stairs and looks down at you. Isn't it kind of crazy that your first thought was to try and shoot me with a gun that I gave you? And you watch as he raises his finger and a flaming Primonica appears, and he takes 2 shots at you.
Bitch. I'll kill you for that. I'll die for that.
That is only a 15 on the first,
That hits.
and a 22 on the second.
That would both hit.
Okay. So you're gonna go ahead and take 7 freeze. So you take 16 points of fire damage,
Mm.
and you watch as the Trimonicas kind of flare after each shot rings. It looks like the flames that are surrounding him begin to glow and go out further.
I see.
The hand slowly begins to continue to move.
Now I'm gonna try and use my reaction to see if I can eat any of that fire damage for breakfast.
You want to try?
Yeah, I mean I don't have anything else to use my reaction for this turn.
Give me a
So
Constitution saving throw.
that's fucked up. Okay.
Trying to use the Spark Zone power against them. Trust me, I thought about this
Okay,
beforehand.
it's a fail. It's a fail.
What's the result?
It's a 11.
11? Definitely a fail. If you want, you can try and re-roll it. Up to you. For every time that you try and use one of the Sparks powers against him, you are looking to meet a DC 17 or above.
Yeah, I guess we'll retry it. Why not?
Go for it.
Fuck, that was so close. I almost got a 15. No, we're not there.
Can you use the talisman?
The reaction. Does that work on?
Does it work on saves or just checks?
I think that
Yeah.
works on saves as
Yeah,
well,
it's
right?
both at this point.
Oh, okay. Let's see. What is
yeah,
it?
you would have to roll a 3 or higher.
Is it a D4?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. 3 or higher. We rolled a 3.
Roll 3. The flames snatched up. You watch as a semblance of those flames that I was just describing growing deeper around him begin to dim and get forced back slowly into the skeleton itself. And you watch as a lane for that fire spins over to you as you do consume those flames. And you
Nice.
can go ahead and benefit from the temporary hit points. It was 15 points of damage, so you would gain 15 temp. And you watch as the spark looking down at you. Just kind of, you see the eyes flare through the skeletal frame. She goes, I see now. This is already part of the process. You don't even know it yet, but you're already damning me. End of his turn. That's you.
Okay. Let's see. I think Mustang. At this point. What else could we try? Okay, he's got a +5 to wisdom, so that's not fucking happening. Wow. Of course, all my spells are wisdom based. That's messed up. Okay. All right. He's going to cast. Really do not have a lot of options. I'm looking through my character sheet and I'll have a bright idea and then I'll remember, oh, can't use that.
Certainly try. What you doing?
Think we are going to go with the Kipley Classic and try and hit him with an Eldritch Blast and see what happens. See what's effective, what's not.
You're gonna pop 2 Eldritch Blasts. Go for it.
Yeah. Okay, first one is a 17 to hit, and the next one is a 16 to hit.
Both hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Awesome. Okay. 1, 2. That is 20 points on the Eldritch Blast. 10 on both
Well,
die.
2 10s?
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then he's
Hell
going
yeah.
to shout at him, I'm not damning you, you're damning yourself. I don't want this.
Hell yeah. End of your turn, you moving at all?
I think, yeah, you know what? He's gonna move closer because he's got a ranged weapon.
Sure.
We're not gonna do that.
As you approach, you see the spark. Famous last words, by the way. As you approach, you see the spark. Flicks the wrist, and the Primonica disappears. Instead, you watch as he pulls kind of both skeletal hands outwards, almost like in the motion of drawing a bow. Except as he does, the wisp of flame that forms in the air contorts down into just a massive rod of fire, and you watch as a little iron sight forms on it, and it begins to outline itself into the familiar form, excuse me, of Big Iron.
Oh, motherfucker. That's a...
Damned be do, damned be fucking don't. And he's gonna go ahead and fire off 2 shots. First one is a miss. That's only it's only a 9.
Yeah, that would be
Second
nice.
one is a natural 16 on the die. So it's definitely gonna hit. Total of 20.
Hold on, wait. Let me see if I have anything I can do about that. Wait, no, it has a +5.
Or is it 21s plus plus
Oh, hold on.
it's plus 5. I can do math. Okay,
Okay, what's 21? 21 minus. Okay, I'm gonna
Oh, you
attempt
do
to
it cutting
use
words.
my reaction for cutting words because I think if I roll high enough, it could save me.
So it's currently at a 21. You need to get it
Yes.
down to a 15.
14.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
gotta
14.
roll a 7 or
Yeah.
higher.
You need to roll. Yeah. Go for it.
Nice gods, you love me tonight and you want to do it so bad. I rolled an 8.
You rolled an 8. Jesus Christ. You watch as 2 shots ring off. First one directly over your shoulder. You just hear an explosion in the distance. What is your cutting words?
I think we'll use what he said before instead as his cutting words. Then he's not damning the spark. The spark is damning himself.
Sure. Sinking through the air, you watch as the bullet aims straight at your chest, weaves off just to the side, taking a huge chunk of the rock behind it with it. Flicks the wrist, and the gun disappears once more. Really starting to piss me off. End of his turn. That's you.
All right. Let's see. Attack roll. 38 this next turn. I think we're gonna go tried and true here, since it's nice and safe. Another Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, go for it.
That is a natural 20 on the first one for 27.
Ooh, mama. Definitely hits.
I'm gonna roll those dice right now so I don't have to reset it. Okay, damage was sad. And second one is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 hits.
And that's gonna give us a total damage of 17.
17 points of damage. Still not bad.
So at the end, he's gonna say that like, we still don't have to do this. I don't want to do this. There's another way.
End of your turn there.
We'll step closer again.
Cool. You watch as, mirroring the fact that you're both using ranged weapons, and you're walking closer to him, approaches straight up.
向かってくるのが。
Throw it. You see, as you begin to approach, he waltzes down the stairs, not rushing at you, but slowly walking down, and you watch as he kind of rubs the wrists at which the you can see where the flames are like flaring from where he's been summoning the Primonica and summoning the big iron. And you watch as he pulls out this massive whip of just pure flame. It forms out into a lasso at the end. It's going to go ahead and make 2 melee attacks against you.
Alright.
That is going to be a 18 to hit.
Okay.
And that's going to be a 24 to hit.
I will try to cutting words the 18.
18? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, or higher.
Oh, we do not
You
get it.
call out, but the whip is already wrapped around you, and it's going to be
Gag
2
me.
strikes.
Was I silent or silenced?
Oh, nice. Jesus Christ. So can't already tell. He just has the majority of your arsenal upgraded.
Yes.
And I was just rolling a few d4s for that, because he gets 1d4 piercing, 1d4 fire. And that was 3 4s and a free for damage. So that is going to be 12 frees, 15 plus. So that's 25 points of damage. 15 of, well, you can't use a reaction because you already you already burnt it. So 15 of which is piercing, and 10 is fire.
Alright.
So go ahead and take 20. And that is actually, wait a minute. I think he gets un momento por favor. I believe he also gets to share in your ability to lasso creatures. Oh yes, sir. I need you to go ahead and make me a strength saving throw.
Oh boy. Is it strength or dex or just strength?
It is strength. I believe it's just strength. Yeah, it's a contested
Right.
athletics check.
A natural 20.
For a total of?
Yeebish.
21.
21. That's still not enough.
That's fucked up.
You rolled a natural 18 on the die. It's plus 4. That's a 22 exactly.
Wait, is it an athletics check or is it a strength
Athletic check.
check? Okay, in that
Is it
case, it's
higher?
a 24.
Oh, mama! Yes, you're
Mustang
good.
is athletic.
You see like, for a moment the skeletal arms wrap and pull on the whip, pull it back towards you, to essentially hog tie you, throw you to the ground. However, you yourself have done that so many times, people. Not gonna fall for the same tricks. You grab the rope, and even though it was made of flames scorching your skin, pull it apart, throw it to the ground back at him. That's your turn.
Alright.
He is still right up on you, though.
He is still right up on me, which is unfortunate. Let's see. Well, what I can do is maybe. Okay, this might be a strat if it works. I'm gonna try and cast Chill Touch on him.
That is still a ranged attack roll.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well,
Mhm.
fuck. I think I might need to just get away from this guy then somehow. Okay.
You make
I'm
the
gonna
attack
risk-
roll, it's just gonna be a disadvantage.
No, I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit, and I'm gonna back up.
All right.
5,
Gonna make an
10,
attack.
15. Yeah, go for it.
It's a natural 17 for a 22.
Yep.
Gonna take. God, this thing's going crazy. That is 10 points of piercing damage and 3 points of fire damage.
Okay.
Additionally, go ahead and make me another athletics check.
Oh, okay.
You only need to beat a 14.
I got a 23.
Yep, you're good. Does not grapple you.
Okay. Let's go for some more Eldritch Blasts. Really exciting stuff. That's a 26 on the first one,
You're going
and a
crazy.
20 on the second one.
Both hit.
So that's nothing crazy this time. Oh shit, that is just shameful. Shameful. So only 5 points of damage between the two.
5 points of damage.
And let me see.
It's action.
Reaction. There. Yeah, we'll move a little more. Well, that's what it is right there.
Alrighty. Top of his turn. You watch as the flame lasso once again flickered out of existence. Are you really ready to lose all this? Just gonna be happy to lie down like a good little lap dog. Waves lap. Force me into a cage for the rest of existence. I'll give you one last chance. We work together. You help me. Rules or whatever fucking bullshit he gives you aside. And give a quick yes or no.
No, not if I have to hurt people to help you. No.
You're gonna fucking hurt him anyways, you dipshit. And he's gonna go ahead and pull out the Primonica again. 19 to hit. Oh my god, this is rolling so well. 19 to hit, and then there's another natural 18 for a 23.
Yeah, that's a yeah. Yeah.
You gonna try and cutting words either of them?
I'm gonna try and cutting words the lower one.
Okay.
Well, what do
So
I need to roll?
It's a 19, so you need to
Okay.
roll at least a 6 or higher.
Okay. We rolled a 7.
First one misses.
Nice.
Oh my god. Nice. There's 14 points of fire damage. Half
Right.
down to 7. That is, he's, you know what? He's gonna move right back down towards you. As he walks away, flicks away the pistol. Doesn't pull out the whip, but is just standing there, skeletal hands ready. End of his turn,
That is
that's you.
inconvenient. Okay. Put me in a difficult position here. Man, I wish all my abilities weren't under lock and key. Okay.
You can certainly try and use them.
I know I can, but I'm running out of hit points to play with here. Think. Let's go. Yeah, this is okay. That's not gonna be very effective. You know what? I'm gonna make the genius move. Genius plays. to cast Cure Wounds upon myself. There we go.
Sure.
Genius mode. Okay. And with that, I'm going to go get the high ground. And he can have his little attack.
Alright. Just gonna take a melee swing at you. It's another hit. Dirty 20.
What is it? Dirty 20?
Remember, if you use your reaction now, you're not gonna get it back.
I know. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna sit on it.
It's also only gonna be a singular d4. That's going to be 7 points of piercing damage.
Alright.
Alrighty. End of your turn. Getting up his. Ah, damn it. You watch as he pulls out the Primonica again.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna go ahead, take 2 more shots.
Mm-hmm.
One is a miss, the other is a 22.
Could I get that 22 down? What's that? 8, 14? I'd have to roll an 8. Odds are not in my favor. I will just let it slide.
I'll let it slide. Alright.
Yeah.
One shot rings off, the other that is 13 points of fire damage, half down to 6. And you can see at this point, as times continue to go on, go ahead and give me an insight check.
Sir, yes, sir. Oh, insight is just not Mustang strong suit. It's a 6.
6?
Yeah.
You know, you can't really tell. you're not really too attuned to the actual
Busy
fight.
not
You're just kind of
dying.
thinking about what the fuck you're gonna do. End of his turn. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He's gonna move up in the center of the hand for you. That's you.
Moving up into the center of the hand. Which makes me feel like I want to go the other way. And I will. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So he can do his thing if he wants.
It's another dirty
Or
20.
can he?
Yep.
Alright.
Yeah, he came back to his turn, so he gets his reaction.
Yeah.
Well, that is only 6 points of piercing damage.
Come on, Wios. Right. I think I can go one more. I'll go one more. Excuse me, that was not one more, that was 2 more. Okay.
What you wanna do?
Yeah, let's do some more Eldritch Blasts up in here.
Go for it.
For a total of 11 points.
What was the to hit?
2 24s.
2 24s, goddamn! Yeah, go for it. That is 5 points of damage. 5 points of
11.
damage in total?
11 in total.
11 in total, gotcha. Okay. Nice. Yeah, Spark's starting to look a little hurt. End of your turn.
I should have done this way earlier. Oh my god. Keep forgetting that I have this spell. I'm gonna use my bonus action to cast Hex.
I was wondering.
I totally forgot that I had that.
Hell yeah. Cast Hex, and the shadows begin to form around the base of the skeleton, kind of grappling with the flames.
Idiot. Alright, let's do it.
Hey, you have it down. You have it on there now.
Here we go, we got it now.
At the end of your turn, you hear a voice beginning to settle into your head. Not of the Sparks, not of Bernard's.
Oh my god.
Mustang. I sense the diversion between the two of you. Contract stands. We are to work together. We are to share the flame's gifts. You are far away from me, and I can barely reach you. You wish to damn the spark, truly for good. Rely on me instead. Reach out to me. Call for me and I will come to aid. You can give a brief response.
Thank you, Yan. I will call you if it comes to that.
Beginning of his turn.
Alright.
Yes. You see he pulls out, once again, wreathing in flame, big iron, looks down at you. I've never killed a man with his own gun before. Always firsts. Gonna go ahead and fire off 2 shots. Natural 14 for a 19.
Mm-hmm.
Natural 19 on the die for a 24.
Okay, I'm gonna try and do away with the first one.
Yep.
What would I have
Looking
to
to
roll?
roll. It was a 19 on the die. Or excuse me, it was a 19 in total, excuse me. To get rid of that, you would have to knock it down to a 13, so 6.
6, okay.
Or 14, excuse me. So,
Yeah. I think that's a better gamble than trying to eat the fire damage. Oh, no.
1, buddy.
Yeah. You know what?
Hmm?
Can I use my inspiration on this roll?
Is reserved normally for d20s. But if you really
I'll-
want to use it on a d8 here,
I'll let it go. Just feel,
It's on. up to you if you want to use it. I'll allow it.
You
You gonna take it then? Use the 1?
Yeah, I'll just use the 1.
Here we go. Start rolling d12s. What's your current hit point maximum?
Not a lot. I got like 26 left.
26. Okay. Buddy. So in total, with both shots combined, that is a total of 40. What is it? Plus 5.
Oh my god.
That's
Why is the damage so good all of
47.
a sudden?
He never hit you with big iron before. He missed both shots. Listen, I've been rolling randomly at the start of this turn which weapon he can summon. I have 1 big iron for this purpose. That's 47 points of fire damage.
47 halved.
Halved down. So I think
I think it's less
what's-
than
what-
26.
it is less than 26. I can't do math right now. That is 23.
To the very last hit point.
You watch as flick of the wrist, the flame goes away, and he goes, "What we could have been together." End of his turn. Start of your turn. That's you.
Okay. What is reaching out to Yan gonna cost me my action?
So it doesn't cost you your action, but you are trying to reach out to Lancelot essentially
Yeah.
for a very weak connection. 'Cause you have a part of him inside of you, but
Mm-hmm.
there's only a fraction of what already is a fraction inside of him, inside the actual machine. So you were essentially going to make me a charisma check. It's going to be like a spell attack roll, and you're going to try and beat a 20.
Okay. Charisma check, like a spell attack roll, and I'm trying to beat a 20.
Yep. So for you, it should be like a plus, I think,
Plus 7.
7. So
Okay.
you need a 13 or higher, and you're trying to reach out. 13 or higher,
Can I
and
use the talisman?
you can, because it is an ability check.
What is that, a D4?
As a D4. So I want to go ahead and roll a D4 first.
Oh fuck. Okay,
1.
well,
Okay, so
now I will use my inspiration that I saved.
did you roll the actual check already? Oh, you did.
I
Okay,
did,
18.
yeah. I got a
Oh,
19.
buddy. Go for it. Yeah, reroll.
Fuck. Okay, it's where does the talisman have any more charges, or is it done?
For
I
saves or
think it's
ability?
free. I think it's free uses per saves.
Yeah,
Okay.
if this is a
Let me
save, you have
double-check.
2 more left.
Let me take peepers at your abilities here.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Eldritch Invocation, Protector of the Talisman. So you have free uses for ability checks and free uses for saving throws. So you do still have another one.
Okay. Oh, I got a 4. It's a 20.
20. Jesus Christ.
Was that ability or save?
It's a charisma
saving
check.
throw.
Okay,
Saving
great.
throw. Saving throw. Okay. Excuse me.
So-
yeah. Okay. It's a 20.
Here's what happens.
Wait. Before I do this, can I speak with Spark?
Yeah, you a brief moment like you would on your turn.
Okay. Okay, this is your last chance. You can do this a different way. We don't have to keep doing this the same.
Get to his response on the next turn.
Right. And now he's gonna reach in and be like, "Yeah, and I just made a threat. I need you to come back it up."
Love that. You watch as all of the magma and flames around you, that little bit of the spark that you took from earlier, flares. And you
Yep.
watch as the backlining to the same, in the very similar way that behind the spark is a wall of flame. You watch as yours rises up into the form of a ghostly flame humanoid. This kind of longer, like almost near, like elven features with the ears. You see completely bald forehead with a long beard going down for about like a good foot of just flaming hair. You see 2 pupilless eyes, just slits essentially in the face, and arms kind of outstretched out in front of you, pointing down towards the spark. You see this embodiment of your connection with Jan. Not only form, but you feel the weight of your holster get a little heavier. As you look down, you see not a Primonica, but you see a clunk of what looks like to be volcanic rock sitting inside of it. What would you like to do?
Pick it up.
Grab it, and you watch as it shatters in your hand.
Oh.
And you watch as the small bits and pieces of volcanic stone begin to rotate into your palm, creating almost just a circle of spinning shards. And you feel that they are ready to create or form to whatever form they need. If you would like on this turn, you have the full capabilities of using your arsenal for Primonica, Big Iron, or any gunplay that you would have.
Okay. Well, this is great, and I am not going to do anything super exciting this turn because even if I have the Primonica, it's no use if I am dead. So I will cast Cure Wounds upon myself again, and then bonus action shoot myself with a healing bullet for even
Go
more
for it.
healing.
As you hold the gun to your face, as you watch it,
Ah,
it
that
doesn't
feels so
form.
good.
It doesn't form into that of your normal 6-shooter. It just forms into a clunk, this kind of molded mass of magmatic rock that is leaking active lava, by the way. And as you pull it and put it to your head, you just see the spark. Just if a skeleton could conceive, seeing its own gifts that it gave you being gifted by another. Go
Oh,
ahead and roll.
you know what? Let's see. Okay, I did all my rolling, but I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong or not, but I'm pretty sure. No, you know what? I think I am wrong. I need to pull up my doc. Hold on. I think. I'm not sure if I got 2 attacks now
Oh, you do.
in a turn. Oh, okay.
It doesn't give you 2 cure
Uh,
wounds, but you do
no,
still. It gives you 2 attacks on the attack action.
I'm going to light him up. Oh
You
no,
pull
wait,
up
I
Big
don't think
Iron?
I can. Oh, yeah, wait. No, yeah, I can. All right, yeah. Well, Primonica, because Big Iron takes a.
Yeah, it's a bonus action for
Yeah, it's a
Big Iron.
bonus action.
But you can
Oh,
do Primonica
so
now
I
too.
could. No. We're gonna do the Big Iron.
Up to you.
Yeah, we're gonna do the Big Iron, and
What level is
we're
also?
gonna we're gonna charge that motherfucker up with a 3rd level.
3rd level. Okay, go for it.
There's a 23 hit.
A 23 most certainly hits.
Okay, so that's gonna be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus 6, so that's gonna be 42 points
42
of.
points.
Can I make it like, I don't know, fucking? Do I get to pick the
You
damage type? I can't
you
remember.
you have the choice of changing it between piercing and fire.
Piercing, yeah. Pierce this guy.
Yeah. So how much damage was that? It was
46. No, it's gonna be
40
42.
40 damage. Nice.
42 points of damage.
One large blast caves a portion of the skeleton. It is still standing, but barely. You
I'm
watch at
gonna.
like half of the skeleton is blown to shreds. Just bones scattering off into the magma, melting underneath the touch of the flame. Spark just staring you down.
Best chance.
Seems that we both run out of chances. You watch as he reaches out, pulling the own flame Primonica out towards you. You have one more shot. This comes down to whether if you hit or not on this turn. As you are both sitting close to 1 HP. Make the second attack roll.
Me?
Yeah, you have one more
Oh,
shot at Big Iron.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Still your
All
turn?
right. Let's see. Rio. Does a 19 hit?
19 hits. Mustang
All right.
strums.
Fuck you.
How would you like to do this?
So the Big Iron is already out, and it's this like molten primordial thing that he has received on behalf of Yan, and he bears down, almost like taking a knee, and just really takes his sweet time to line up the shot. And he closes one eye as he looks down the iron sights, and he's like, "I'm ready to be something different." And then he fires. And nothing too theatrical. He's ready for change.
You shoot off the bullet, and spending out is this kind of winding, almost. It looks like you are shooting a condensed form of earthen rock itself. Pierces through the skeleton, and you watch as the spark goes and takes a shot as his body falls back and the flame just dissipates. You feel the connection with the spark dim, not to a presence sitting in your mind, but just the smallest ember in your chest. The vision fades. The gun in your hand fades. You don't wake up. What you do get is separate visions. And you see from a perspective that is not your own. You see lava. You see broiling and just uncaring heat devouring and consuming an entire plane of existence. You see it completely dark, void of light. And you don't see them, but you hear the fall of a hammer on an anvil. And you watch as the first light sparks into existence. You see moments for your own life. You see the house burning. You see the visions of friends long past. Some who you know are safe and sound, others for which you haven't seen in years. All of which blinking in but a mere second of time. You see the vision of Amos. Now from a different perspective as well. Those words carrying a little bit more weight now that you understand what Bernard said earlier. The cut to the remembering of the golden cutlass. The events that transpired there. The explosion. All of which you have killed, and all of which you have saved. And the fading voice. So that's how it is, then. That's how it is, then. And you fall into a deep sleep. For the rest of you, Mustang is gone after he disappeared with Wave for hours. You sit waiting in the dining hall with little to no information. No one comes out to update you. You don't get to see the process for what happens. However, Mustang, just go ahead and give me a disadvantage perception check.
Okay.
You're looking to be a 15 or higher.
Perceive. Natural 20 on the first one, And on the second one, another natural 20. It's 2 natural
Are you
20s for
fucking
27.
kidding?
I am not fucking with you. It is the dice gods are really holding my hands
Holy
tonight.
shit. That is 1 out of 400 chances of rolling that shit.
I know, isn't that kind of crazy? Okay,
So, even in your state of unconsciousness, as you are forced into this dreamlike state, you have an understanding. Yeah, and all of them are from Mustang. It ain't crit once. You have an understanding that what is currently happening is because of Bernard. You saw him play the spell. You saw him play the song. You saw him cast the spell in order to bring about this. You know that happened. However, what comes next, you feel a stone cold hand on your chest as Wave begins the process of sealing the spark. And you can feel as your body is being moved. Not lifted, not carried, but moved from one to another. Smoke falling away, coals and all of the embers that remained inside of you at all times collapsing onto the table. And you feel as this is the closest thing to what you've experienced as dying. As your body essentially loses its physical form, evaporates. And it's kind of disturbing in a way, because you rolled a natural 20, I'll let you have this.
Yeah.
That as your consciousness is being transferred and as the seal is being put on the spark, you can feel Bernard's hands moving up and around the new body, the new clay mold that he is crafting, as you are being literally made anew. It is a long process, and you do lose consciousness eventually. But come evening, roughly about 8 hours later, Wave and Bernard emerge, both dissipating and reappearing as mist in the same spot that they did previously. Did you guys all wait for the entire day there, or would you be waiting at the exit to the dining hall still?
I mean, I don't think we were invited to come with, so
No, you guys were not there to experience any of it, as
so
there was the risk of blowing up.
yeah, wherever we were left before, I think.
Because they brisked away to a demi-plane. It's not a different part of the actual palace itself.
Mm-hmm.
So they left in the same spot that you guys were standing in previously. It's just whether you spent the entire day there. It's up to you.
I mean, Kipperly gets bored easily, but she can also zone out, so she probably just does that.
Mammoth Duradon as well.
Yeah, I'd probably just watch Kipley zone out.
The brain cell is shared.
Brain shells there. Duradon. Jared, big dog, if you're talking, you're muted. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I saw
no.
the
Struggle. Struggle.
Yeah. Oh god. He may be lost. We may have lost one.
Do we need to go into Jared's sanctuary?
I'm
He says he's here.
Maybe? Okay.
I don't
I'm gonna
believe
presume.
it. It's a
Okay.
farce. Fake.
Hello.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. That's
God
so
damn
weird.
it. Yes. Now I'm just staying with everyone else.
Okay. Cool. 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 And emerging behind Wave and Bernard. By the way, you see Bernard's drenched in sweat. Like it looks like he's been working in like either a forge or some sort of like, just absolute blasting heat for what would have been the entire time he's been gone. Wave looks unchanged, but you watch as they step away, and Wave snaps his fingers. And Ash, would you like to share what they see?
Yes, I have so much art. I just have to pick one. Okay. I've been drawing this for a long time. All right,
We've
this
been
one's
waiting.
fine. I know I have been waiting. I'll send a couple. He's so cute.
As you see the lovingly nicknamed Man-Stang waltz out of the portal.
Look at him go!
Look at my man! Look at our Dilf.
Hell
Yeah, you're kind of right.
So, as as Mustang emerges, you see an older-looking human male, um, beard, kind of in a similar look to Bernard's, except a little bit more finely trimmed, closer to the cheek. He has been given clothes. That's I believe you're the same height and kind of build previously as Mustang was in smoky form, correct?
Big. Yeah, if
Yeah.
he could have put in the requisition to be a little bit shorter, he probably would have. Feels like a
Yeah.
little freak of nature sometimes.
Sure. So, you're like 6'4" instead of 6'6".
Yeah.
It's not the biggest change, but you can see the clothes that you had on previously do fit, but they are a little big. Um, as the Stang outfit emerges with you, Artie sees this absolute stranger. What would you like to do?
Mustang, for once, is at a loss for words. He feels kind of awkward, and he feels a lot. He feels the air on his skin, and feels it rustling in his hair, and it's kind of all overwhelming. And like the fabric rustling against his skin, he almost wants to like go in a dark room and turn off all the lights and hide.
Kipley, do you say anything as you come out?
Seeing everyone is just staring at him, eventually he will muster. Does the brown of my skin bring out my eyes? And he kind of holds up a pinky finger and he peels down one of his eyelids to reveal the pink flesh underneath.
Yeah, look at you.
I don't think I've actually has Mustang had a chance to look in the mirror, or did he just
You
get?
don't actually know what you look like, no?
I hope I look good. I didn't get as much of a say in it as I hoped. I haven't seen myself, and he's looking at his hands, rotating them on his wrists,
You see,
counting all the scars.
yeah, Bernard kind of pipes up and goes, I simply crafted you from the image inside of your mind for what is most ideal. So I assure you it is exactly as you should have wanted, within a margin of error.
Kipley's gaze kind of slides towards Bernard and then back to Mustang.
And you just see Bernard does look a little perturbed. It's like he is looking in a slightly more lean, beautiful mirror.
Less furry.
I assure you, this is not. I did not do this on purpose. This is what he desired to look like.
Well, we're brothers, aren't we?
Oh, don't tell me that is why I made you like you are. It's
Oh, I
because
don't
you want
know.
to look like me.
I'll be honest, I didn't think about it that hard. I don't know. I think you probably saw more than I did in there.
Or either way, you look dashing.
Should I
And
change my name to Mustang Debonair? Is that?
Oh,
oh my goodness. He goes, and you should feel a little less. Well, you are still hot in ways, I guess, but you should be running a little less hot.
Yeah, I can't say I'm a big fan of this whole clothes thing. Do you really have to wear these all the time?
Eh, some people have chosen to go without them. However, they are the minority in the large world of clothing and fashion.
Oh, it's so itchy. And the air is so cold. How do you guys do this? You guys have been doing this your whole life?
You wanted this.
You can. You kind of get away with a little less clothes as a barbarian. You pretty much aren't expected to be fully clothed all the time.
I can feel my toes. It's cramped in here, and you see he kind of flexes his toes in his boots. And this is itchy, and he kind of scratches at the beard.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. Are you like sensitive to like sensory things? Because you're gonna fucking hate being human if that's the case.
I've never felt any of this before. I didn't know you guys were feeling this much all the damn time. I don't think I could have even begin to fathom the extent of feeling that you all do.
I think you'll probably get used to it because
Fucking hope so.
I mean it's just
wait till
kind
you
of.
sweat and it all becomes
Sweat?
Yeah.
yeah.
It is a good thing. It took me a while to adjust myself. There are ways to help you adapt faster. I'll help you in the change for at least tonight. But it is going to be a little overbearing. I would suggest that you have some wave. If you could procure glasses for my friend here. The sun is going to be a little bright.
And a hat.
Oh. Do I have a good head of hair? Does it need a hat? Is it that bad?
You kind of run your hand through your hair. It's a decent head of hair.
He actually might be all right. He's not deprived in the melanin department. He should have some natural resistance to. I mean,
Oh, it is not about burning as much as his eyes have never properly seen sunlight before.
Oh no, the glass is necessary. The hat, maybe not.
I assume the hat was for fashion.
Yeah.
Oh, that I was
I
just
do miss
thinking
having a
about
hat.
I don't have any personal with me in my traveling companions, but I am a bard to create. This can be done. And you watch as he strums a note on his guitar, and I know it's called a gallon cowboy hat, but I'm trying to think of how big he would make it for you.
10 gallons, please.
10, you know what? 11 gallons just for you. No, okay. A 10-gallon cowboy hat
Yeah, thank
appears
you.
on top of your head.
Oh.
It is like kind of like a darker, like leathery brown.
Beautiful.
He goes, it is actively shimmering with magic, though. Like, it is very clearly a magical object.
Wow. Bernard, you are just the gift that keeps on giving.
That would absolutely disappear in about 6 hours, but until then,
Oh,
enjoy.
it's gonna be the best 6 hours of my new life. Thank you. And he looks suddenly, with his expressions markedly more readable now. He has a very genuine look on his face that he is very appreciative of this thing that Bernard has done for him, and almost like a puppy dog glint in his eye. He's a new soul seeing the world for the first time.
Hell yeah. And with that, I think that's a pretty good place to leave it there. We'll pick up with everyone's reactions and what you'll do next time, as it is 1:42 in the morning. Um,
That was
But-
crazy.
That was awesome.
you, as the sun sets, your level rises. As Mustang, go ahead and level up to level 8.
Oh, fire!
Not anymore.
And the rest of you just get to sit there and do nothing. Nah, everyone levels up to level 8 as well. You were going to level up despite if everyone was successful in creating your arcane focuses and getting to the walk. It was just a matter of time.
Nice.
But
Fire.
congratulations. By the way, I have to say, because it's been so long that we can share this now, Ash made the art for Manstang before she saw what Bernard looked like.
That's crazy.
And when she asked if she could get a preview of what Bernard would look like a month ago. And we were like, holy shit, we made the same character. Like, we made the same character for both the Sparks. I love it.
They're brothers! They're brothers!
Yeah, they're literally. I do like the Kipling being like, you sure you didn't just make yourself? I was like, no, Ash legitimately made this. I want it to be
Yeah.
known.
He
Yeah, I
looks
sent it to
well.
Dom.
Bernard looks like Gil from Vox Machina.
Doesn't
like
he?
exactly.
I
It's
I
awesome.
may
Positive
have chosen
connotation.
for some reason. Yeah, no.
Behold.
That was a fun little thing.
You all have now seen my great creation that I've been sitting on for so long.
I love
Manstang.
Manstang. I love
Behold.
Manstang so much. Also, so wild that came down to you being at 3 fucking HP and he was at 6 HP. I was so concerned because here's the thing. There was a hidden side effect that he would have had to roll for